Favourite here for race 5, $3.60 with us at Sportsbet, rock solid. Acting, it's just out to $4. I think if you like that horse, just wait till the jump. You're going to get a better price about it. The other 2 horses that the market are with are the 8, Lunar Light, now into $13 with us from $17, and Chassis into $13 from that price of $20. Expect it just to be behind the leaders. Richo talked about that southerly wind. Well, it's a southerly, so it is behind them in the chute. So again, more advantage for horses on speed.
And Justy Westport, a gap South Bank, Score, and Acting has finished last.
Well, it's a photo, but it looks like the Sires winner in La 10 will be good enough to win here. And a driving finish. Gee, they overdid the speed there. The 2 leaders just took off, and it set it up for those who were getting a camp off them. Lady Lupino, everyone thought would be up near the lead or leading, ended up settling back towards the rear and has stormed late and just missed. James Cummings and Brad Rawiller combined. La 10
it happens. They find out that the up front on the fence is the place to be, and then we end up overdoing it through the day. The speed goes too hard, and it's obvious then. Benny Mellamy drawn awkward on Acting, and he had to work to get over. Timmy Clark made him work on South Bank, but the speed was just too solid, you know, then afford the back markers to come into the race. And good ride.
It is, which was taken out by Adelaide Ace. John Allen combining here with Lindsay Smith. And again, race over 1,400 metres, and didn't they burn the turf early here? Acting absolutely sizzling sectionals, not surprisingly, drops out last year in the Angus Armanasco, taken out by last year's VRC size winner La 10.
Yeah, I quickly went from elation to despair after this one, I can assure you. Look, I was happy they went forward, and then when you see how hard they were going, you knew you were in a lot of hot water. I think 11 lengths or something. I'm just trying to turn the page quickly.
Yeah, almost
11 lengths faster. So Acting, this is where riders overcompensate. They go forward. The front 2 were gone on the turn, but they just did too much work. But obviously the eventual winner was back on the fence. In fact, the first 3 past the post were all on the rail.
It wasn't even the fact that they were running those those times, 10.6 lengths faster in the first section, but it was the work, Corey, that they had to do, both Acting and South Bank from the barriers. That is a pretty steep hill from the 1,400 metre start, and they were working up that hill.
It's one of the trickiest tracks, the 1,400, to ride at, and they've done all the work at the wrong time.
Brad Rawiller on La 10, winning the Angus Armanasco.
Acting, La 10's trying to get into the clear. Snap Dancer tried to hold her in with 150 to go. La 10 drives through. Here's Lady Lupino. It's La 10 from Lady Lupino and Lunar Light. La 10, Lady Lupino diving. They hit it. La 10 won from Lady Lupino.
Lady Lupino incidentally bled from both nostrils, so she's toast for 3 months. Brad Rawiller, Corey, we spoke about it 7 days ago. The win on Serious Suspect. He's been working so hard, particularly provincially, to try and get back. His combination with James Cummings, 5 wins, 12 placings from 31 rides for Godolphin.
And it was really interesting.
And it is a belter of a race, and the betting has been very interesting indeed. Super Seth is the favourite. It's been well supported. $2.60 with us at Sportsbet. Look, I expect this horse to roll forward for Mark Zara. 3-year-olds against the older horses this time of the year. It is a profitable. Melody Bell, $3.20 out to $3.70. Market taking a set against her. Expect her to start with a 4 in front of it. Colding the same, $3.40 out to 4. Where's the money gone? Streets of Avalon. 31 into 18 this morning, into $12. I expect it to lead. And Wild, $18. Blinken.
Ready. Stalls are back and away. Cape of Good Hope goes back to the end after missing it a length, and Casio, Blackheart, Bart back with it. Showing speed, Melody Bell, Super Seth, Streets of Avalon. Wild Planet's going to kick up underneath that trio. A length and a half, Colding, Cape of Good Hope, Blackheart, Bart, Casio at the end. Streets of Avalon, Spected Odds goes to the front. Led the Group 1 by a length and a half to Super Seth. Wild Planet third, the inner, followed by Melody Bell. 2.5, Colding, the outer of Cape of Good Hope, followed by Blackheart, Bart. Casio whips them in to the side of the track. 800 metres to run. Streets of Avalon by 3/4 of a length. Super Seth getting a little bit closer. A length and a half to Wild Planet, box seating, followed by Melody Bell getting a lovely trail. A length and a half, Cape of Good Hope, followed by Colding, who's on the Kiwis back wherever she goes. Casio is second last on the inside, approaching the home course. corner, and at the back of the field is Blackheart Bart. Streets of Avalon quickened up towards the turn at the 400 metres from Super Seth. Then came Melody Bell, Wild Planet Colding to the outside with 4 to make up from Cape of Good Hope. Streets of Avalon at the 300 with Super Seth moving up on the outside, a length away Melody Bell, then Wild Planet and Colding. Streets of Avalon with Super Seth trying to pick it up at the moment at the 150. Streets of Avalon just in front. Super Seth having a devil of a time. Streets of Avalon's brave. Streets of Avalon's got the Group 1 from Super Seth. Melody Bell third, Wild Planet fourth, then Colding. Blackheart Bart Carsio, Cape of Good Hope was last.
Oh, what a performance by a front runner, and what a ride by Benny Mellum. Shane Nichols wins his second Group 1, and he does it with a horse who's just so tough and honest. He's not the most fashionably bred. He's not the pick of the yard. This gelding son of Magnus is as tough as teak, and it's start number 43. He takes his earnings over $1 million. He has win number 8, and Super Seth just couldn't get past him.
Richo, and what a performance. Exciting race to watch there, Corey. Of course, Ben and Mark.
In numbers, so we didn't nom on the Monday so we could just have a look. On the Tuesday, there didn't seem any natural leader in the race. Staff had taken him to the beach Sunday. He was in good nick. He does back up well, as you've just seen. And went on, thought we were a chance to lead. Watching how the day's been panning out, it's just been in the perfect spot. I thought Super Seth, you know, with less weight than us, stalking us was a problem. But, geez, he's tough. With 59 to find the line like he did, amazing effort. And, look, I stand...
A couple of days out, how did you think it was going to play?
Yeah, I always walk the track on the Friday before they race on the Saturday. And to me, it walked, as Jake said, they'd had 60 mils throughout the week. I thought the ground, particularly going down the side of the course, on the Queen's Road side of the track, I thought it was superior on the inside. And I sent a text to Jason Kerr on Friday morning saying I thought the grass cover was a little bit shorter than normal at Caulfield. And I thought it was superior ground along the fence down the side. In the straight, I didn't think there was much in it. But interestingly, I did walk the track with a couple of professional... You know, clearly there was an advantage yesterday to be on speed and close to the fence. I think it was also a meeting at Caulfield where there was no wind. So if there's no wind, it normally favours the leaders. When you're coming down the side, you've got a 90-degree turn into the home straight. So if the ground is even, there's an advantage to the leaders at Caulfield because of the circumference of the track.
Hutch, Corey, bring you in.
Wanted to be changing their tactics, you know, like as far as punting goes, but as a jockey and a horse goes, you can't change their pattern too much. You can do the little things, you know, you might be able to take a position closer, but yeah, you can't just totally change their pattern of racing to suit the bias on the day. And like Clint said yesterday, there was a clear bias that you had to be near the fence.
Grace, before we Streets of Avalon, $26 into 9, and fascinating the narrative between Shane Nichols' trainer and jockey Ben Mellum, who, once the nominations sort of permeated out on Monday, Ben Mellum said, "You're mad if you don't back Streets of Avalon up after its second the previous week." There wasn't an obvious leader in the race, and that's how it played out.
It made the running and first
off. She had a big blow afterwards. I think she is going to be right on song.
So we had the top 10 announced, the finalised group who were in the race announced during the week at Caulfield. Of course, now Streets of Avalon catapults itself into that group as well, and given the affinity the horse has for Caulfield,
so
not going to be out of place.
No, not at all.
She was terrific, Melody Bell. I think she'll be pretty close to favourite on the back of that run, I think, on the day, because...
in this position before is with Hanseatic. Let's get a market update for our feature, the Blue Diamond.
Thanks, Richo. Hanseatic is the favourite. Look, $2.70, just drifting out to $2.90 with us at Sportsbet. Has that inside gate. Look, I think this is going to be probably an advantage. I know it's not going to probably be on speed, but we know those lanes 1, 2 and 3, as we've seen throughout the day, are a big advantage. Let's be glam. No doubt in my mind that Brett Prebble will ride this horse aggressively and try and lead from that. Is the favourite, $2.70 and rock solid. Did touch about $3 around 15 minutes ago, but now $2.70. Really strong on the exchange as well, so it's a positive sign for Hanseatic here if you're in his corner. Let's be glam. Well, Prebble's going to go forward, no doubting that. Try and lead.
Ready for the dive, and gates are back and racing. Hanseatic away cleanly, away game out fast with Difficult, and also Rulership isn't too far away. Let's Be Glam, and also A Beautiful Night using their toe the inside. Tagalo is right up there as well. Rulership's going to settle about 5th. Riverina Storm, Hanseatic 7th on the rails, and they were followed by Muntasira as they link onto the course proper. Next in the field, Ariaf Personal, and then came Rathlin, Ideas Man, Tanker, and Glenfiddich at the tail. A Beautiful Night just in front of Let's Be Glam at the 650. Tagaloa 3 deep, and they were followed by Away Game 4 deep. They've gone hard. A length and a half, Riverina Storm, Rulership. Hanseatic next the inside, picking up a little bit of ground. Further back is Difficult, then Ariaf, Muntasira, Personal, Rathlin, Ideas Man, Glenfiddich, and Tanker. A Beautiful Night into the straight from Let's Be Glam. Now Hanseatic, Clark's edging off the fence. Tagaloa chimes in too, followed by Away Game. Tagaloa took the front. Hanseatic's a length away out in plenty of time. At the 150, it's Tagaloa. Hanseatic trying to wear it down. Tagaloa followed by Hanseatic. Personal late. Tagaloa's pretty from Hanseatic. Tagaloa has won it from Hanseatic and Personal. Then Away Game, Muntasira. Next Rathlin, Let's Be Glam. Behind them, Riverina Storm, A Beautiful Night. Next to finish, Rulership, and then Tanker, Glenfiddich, Ariaf, Ideas Man, a long last, Difficult.
What a win to Tagaloa. What a valuable colt he becomes. He's a son of a superstar in Japan, Tagaloa. He wins for the Bussetton Young team. And Aussie Kerr's colours with a big group of owners, really influential in Australian racing. Just hold off Hanseatic, who had every possible chance, got a gun run from Tim Clark to run second.
Very emotional for you. It's been a tough month. You had a few injuries and you've just bounced back, but to get a Group 1, wowee. Yeah, Chrisley, 3 days before Melbourne Cup last year, I couldn't walk. Since then, I've had an operation to remove nerves. Gary Zimmerman and David Young done a tremendous job, and pray to God that this is my last operation on my hips. It's had about 12 on it now. I don't want any more. Talk us through the race. You had to do a bit of work. The pace was on. You were right there. You knew that that's the way the track was racing. The favourite was mowing you down, but he was just too good. He's a classic colt, this horse. Because I was telling everyone the other day, he just come to the end of it. We knew he was vulnerable, so I didn't ask him for speed. Nat and Trent had this horse spot on. I worked him on Saturday, worked brilliant. Couldn't be happier. I want to give a special thanks to...
Great thrill to win one of our classic races in Victoria with a young star.
I can't believe it. I'm a bit of an emotional wreck, to be honest. I'm usually a bit of a hard ass. It's unbelievable. Look, this was the target for this horse, being a little Cannanola. We brought him off Arrowfield. Fantastic Aussies here, great bunch of owners. I can't think of their names right now. To win a Group 1 when we're training here in Australia, it's been eluding us for a little while, and to win it with a 2-year-old is just unbelievable. Thank you. Thank you for everyone that's supported us.
Have you seen this guy? Well done, Trent, mate. I'm really, really pleased for you. You made the huge leap of faith. I'll make sure that our cameras can see it. Huge leap of faith to make your way over to Victoria, and you've just been rewarded now with your first Group 1 for roughly 4 years.
Yeah, and we won't say that too loud, but the right Group 1 to win. And he did it tough way, 3 deep on speed again. Like when he kicked and the favourite come off our back, I thought, oh, fuck. But he toughed it out like he was going to go past him, and he poked his neck out. And we knew he had plenty of improvement in him, first up to second up, and no, just very exciting. Big payday, big payday, big payday.
Well, you've won derbies and now you've won blue.
From Trent Buston and Natalie Young, and the story of Michael Walker as well. Corey, he's been through the ringer, this guy, and outstanding for him to get his first Group 1 on Victorian soil since he piloted Harlem to win the Australian Cup.
Yeah, he's a great rider, Cuzzy Bro, but he's plagued with problems, especially his hips. And everyone knows, he's just recently back from another hip operation. I think he said after the race that it's about his 12th operation. But look, he didn't have a lot of luck from the bad barrier, but it's clearly too good.
One of the wins of the day, I thought. He sat 3 wide without cover the trip. He wasn't in the right spot in the run. The tempo was very strong. They were absolutely flying in this race. Thought Tim Clark gave Hanseatic an absolute peach from the gate. He was in the right spot. He presented, but Tagaloa was just too tough.
Here's Tagaloa's win in the Blue Diamond.
Edging off the fence, Tagaloa chimes in too, followed by Away Game. Tagaloa took the front. Hanseatic's a length away out in plenty of time. At the 150, it's Tagaloa. Hanseatic trying to wear it down. Tagaloa, followed by Hanseatic. Personal late. Tagaloa's pretty from Hanseatic. Tagaloa has won it.
Throughout the course of the morning, we're going to have these overhead shots from the drone that was on course yesterday, which will help, I guess, bring into focus where horses were in the run. And not surprisingly, the podium were all prominent yesterday. Tagaloa in that 3-wide line.
No horse sat 3-wide. I mean, what probably helped in some respects was the fact that he was close to the speed. But, gee, this was a tough one. And look at Tim Clark on Hanseatic on the fence. That's where you wanted to be in the day. Now, he's biding his time. He can't stay where he is because the horses will fall back in his lap. He peels off heels. He can't go back inside there, Corey, because there's no run. He's had a softer run in transit, and you would expect him to run over Tagaloa, who was just too tough.
Definitely, you know, like he probably got out in part of the track where they didn't really want to be, but still he had a soft enough run behind the speed. He peeled out at the right time. Like you said, Tim Clark, give him an absolute peach ride. Just wasn't good enough on the day.
No, very tough performance.
So Tagaloa 0.01 shy of Sepoy's time to win in 2011, which was the fastest time in the race in the last 20 years and the third fastest all time. Hurricane Sky holds the record back in the mid-90s. Amazing effort,
Tagaloa.
He was tough. He didn't want to lie down, did he?
No.
Personal was very good.
Yep.
I thought that was a terrific run.
As too was Montesira.
So just on the performance of Personal, so Lindsay Park have trained a filly in this race to run top 3 the last 6 editions of the Blue Diamond. One winner, Catchy, in 2017. That is a remarkable effort.
Was
yeah,
it
they got
used
the right
comparing
recipe.
against...
Here from Golden Slipper, might have a run on the way. This win will change the career of Trent Busserton and also Natalie Young with a win like this, proving they can train a 2-year-old and a big race 2-year-old. I think the sky's the limit for this stable after this performance.
Well, they've had confidence in this horse all the way through. Every interview they want to tell you how good he is and why couldn't he win the Slipper off that performance. That was a huge win. 3 wide, no cover, chasing before the turn and holds off a horse that I felt was perfectly ridden. You know, I've heard a few comments saying, "Oh, no, he should have won." Well, I don't know where you can tell me he should have won. He loomed to win, and there's a little query on him at 1200 for mine, Hanseatic, even though, and he got a little bit stirred up in the yard looking at the pre-race stuff, but he didn't sweat up. I like that third filly. I'd love to see her have a crack at one of the Slipper lead-ups. Personal. She's lightly raced. I love the way she hit the line. Away Game, what a bonny little filly she is.
How
4 deep,
tough.
no cover the whole race, and we're talking about it was up the inside.
Yeah, she's coming up to Sydney for to go for the Golden Slipper. She just keeps on going. But yeah, I like the horses that were hitting the line.
Oakley Plate first run in 1884. What a classic race it is. The Ned's Oakley Plate worth $500,000. Group 1 sprint over 1,100 metres. I'm Immortal is the scratching. And let's assess the favourite first. And it is this Talent Hutch because he's got 55.5 kilos. That's a tough impost.
It won't be easy for him, but Baton Stakes running the best of figures of the day. So she goes on top for mine. Bivouac not knocking the favourite at all. Trope looked absolutely magnificent. Obviously, he's a get-back run on horse, which isn't the best pattern for today. And as I said, All Too Royal was another one that caught the eye. Certainly looks like on Boxing Day.
$2.80 Bivouac this morning at 9 a.m, now $2.40. This is a massive, massive go, completely truckloaded. Everything else has drifted outside of Anaheed, $6.50 held its price. Everything else is on the drift. Market percentage goes down and...
Set to go, stalls are back and away. Crystal Dreamer midfield away. Showing speed on the outside was Peppy with also Ball of Muscle, Bonds away. Driving through Fardanar, searing the grass as well. Anaheed's not too far off with Free of Debt. Then came Crystal Dreamer, All Too Royal and Mystico with Vain Stream. Next in the field, settling down into stride is Zoo Tory. They were followed by Bivouac, and then came Fine Dane, Hummer, Bold Star, Trope, Anjana, 2 lengths, Helverson. Peppy at the 600 metres, led Ball of Muscle, Free of Debt, 3 deep. A length and a half, Bonds away. Anaheed out 3 deep with a trail. Then Fardanar, Crystal Dreamer, Vain Stream, Mystico, All Too Royal. Bivouac about 6 off the lead, and they were followed by Zoo Tory, Hummer, Bold Star under the bat, and then Fine Dane. Dane. Pippi goes for home. Jockey hasn't moved at the 200 metres. She's 2 in front of Bonds Away, Crystal Dreamer, Zutori. They were followed by All Too Royal and Bivouac, but it's Pippi with 100 metres to go. Still clear, a good margin. Pippi needs the line, but she's going to get it. Pippi won the Oakley Plate. Zutori second, Crystal Dreamer third. Then All Too Royal, Mainstream Helverson. From Bold Star, Bivouac never came on. They left it in the bag. Then came Trope, and next to finish, Mainstream pulling up alongside of Bonds Away. Then Hummer, Fartana, and Jana Fine Dane. Next, Anahid Mystico, Free of Debt. And at the tail of the field, Ball of Muscle.
The Flying Pippi with Linda Meach. Well done, Meachy. She wins her second Group 1 in her career, and she's done it with a flying mare who did all the work out in front. Zutori flashed late, but she'd done the work. She deserved to get the Group 1, and she does it with John and Chris Marr. And for John and Chris, this is...
You had a little cheeky prick with the ears with 100 to go. I'm like, race is not over, girl. But I can't tell you how much this means to me. I've been starving myself for the last month, so just to make the weight, I know I wanted to do it really properly. I was a bit worried Monday I wasn't going to make it, but everything fell into place. Big thank you to Chris and to Jess Eaton. She lived with me.
Partnership. Johnny, please come across and stand next to your son. Hey, Chris, brilliant stuff, mate.
Outstanding, Richo. She's just pure speed, this mare, and I said, you know, last time in she went out a little girl, she's come back a grown-up woman, and today she was obviously just pure speed and was too good, which is, you know, it's a magic result.
Daring tactics to lead the whole way in an Oakley Plate. There, you've got to be really fast to do that.
Yeah, well, she's really fast. I said to Linda, just handlebars down as soon as the gates open. She's just pure speed.
September 1 last year that Pippi coming through. Her victory in the Cochrane would be ideally suited to this race, and that's how it's prevailed first up.
Yeah, 1,100 metres at Caulfield is an ideal setup for Pippi, and the way the track was racing yesterday, so long as she could get across from her wide gate, which she does possess an abundance of early speed, and Linda got there quite comfortably, you know, crossed a horse like Ball of Muscle, who's a very talented and fast horse himself. So the race yesterday set up perfectly for Linda, and, you know, coming to the 200, she still hadn't released the brakes. So there's very few horses that can travel that deeply into a high-pressure race like this and get to the furlong pole and be, you know, 2 or 3 lengths clear without going for the horse.
Raw speed, Hutch?
On raw speed. We'll get Matty's call and I'll run through some of the numbers.
Star under the bat, and then Fine Dane. Pippi goes for home. Jockey hasn't moved at the 200 metres. She's 2 in front of Bonds Away, Crystal Dreamer, Zutori. They were followed by All Too Royal and Bivouac, but it's Pippi with 100 metres to go. Still clear, a good margin. Pippi needs the line, but she's going to get it. Pippi won the Oakley Plate. Zutori second, Crystal Dreamer...
Well, they, as that looked, they just absolutely flew there. I can tell you on raw times, they were the first section, so that first strand had 4 lengths quicker, 8 lengths between the 8 and the 4, and then they tied a bit late, but they were entitled to, given that pure speed. But if you wanted any notice, we said this yesterday, Corey, Mainstream, who's been getting beaten in benchmark, is back on that inside section, beats home Bivouac. So if you needed any convincing, which wasn't there, but I mean, that just highlights, and it's probably a good... I mean, you've got to try and line up in retrospect how much of it you are suited or advantaged. It was significant. That horse was 200 to 1. It was absolutely no hope whatsoever on paper. It was entitled to run a lot further down the track and in the right spot. All honest, Pippi. Let's talk the positives. Fantastic win, Corey. She just bounced him out of the gates. Bounced her out of the gates. Yep.
Her first 100 metres of the race is absolutely crazy. Like, and on the bridle, not even getting work to get to the front. She just amazing gate speed, travels really solid, doesn't quicken, but just maintains that high cruising speed. And I love the comments from the stables, just handlebars down.
And Bivouac was in the mic, just in the wrong spot.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought the ride was a touch conservative, given the way the pattern was at this stage of the day. You knew that they needed to be forward, and I thought Craig's ride on Bivouac needed to be a little bit more positive, and then as opposed to Zutori, who weaved his way through the field, he decided to come to the outside on Bivouac, and that was clearly where you didn't want to be yesterday.
Well, there's probably no option.
at how the odds are shaping a fortnight out from the Classic up the straight 6 at Flemington. We know the 3-year-old to the 4. We know G-Trail was so impressive winning the Lightning last week. Nature Strip is still in the market. It remains to be seen whether he may return to the scene of the crime from last week as well.
Was very good yesterday.
Halvorsen ran outstanding closing sectionals, as did Zutori.
Yeah, I mean, Halvorsen off that very strong speed, I think, was the 12th best final 200, so that was an exceptional one. We know he loves the straight, heavy, well handicap, but this will be a completely different race down the straight. There might be a better side to be on that day as well. So you know that's what happens if you're taking those prices a long way out. But
presented in terrific condition first up, and she got the job done on that occasion when sitting deep without cover. And I think she can take the step up to this grade and win again. Kingswell Dream, no knock.
At $2.70 this morning, well now $3.40, but that's just crunched back into $3.10 for Kingswell Dream. So there's been a good late push for the favourite. He did get out to as much as $3.50, but now back into $3.10. So that's a positive move for him. He's got that gate one. I think that lane is okay. Regal Power, $3.30 out to $3.90. Definitely going to start with the 4 in front of it. Miss Siska, bit of support, $4.40 into...
Gates are back, and they're racing at the 1,800 metres. It was a beautiful line away too. Showing pace is Miss Siska with Kingswell Dream using that inside draw. Suzuka Devious, the Japanese horse, third early. Lavendi's not far off, and there's Odeon from the deep two. Constantinople behind that pack. Hard to find an early leader. They were followed by Harlem. Second last is Regal Power, and at the tail is Mirage Dancer. They climb on now with about 1,000 metres to run. 3/4 of a length in front of Miss Siska. Then came Lavendi the outside. Next in the field is Kingswell Dream, Suzuka Devious. Constantinople's deep with cover. Harlem next the rails, then Regal Power, and at the end Mirage Dancer. So a cheap split there for Odeon. At the 800 metres, led by about a neck to Miss Siska, and then came Lavendi out deeper. Fourth the inside Kingswell Dream, a length Suzuka Devious, Constantinople. Harlem third to last from Regal Power, and Mirage Dancer is last. So approaching the 500 metres and beyond, it's Odeon. Just steadily works it up now by a neck, Miss Siska, Lavendi. Kingswell Dream is poised behind them, needing some luck. Constantinople out deeper, then Suzuka Devious. Harlem is going to track the fence, and then Regal Power, Mirage Dancer. Odeon under a hold at the moment at the 250, but Miss Siska moves up. Then Kingswell Dream and Regal Power down the outside. Miss Siska takes the lead at the 100. Kingswell Dream coming at her. Miss Siska 3/4 a half. Kingswell Dream, but Miss Siska's brave and won. Miss Siska just beat Kingswell Dream. Photo third. Mirage Dancer was coming through with Regal Power. Harlem a good pipe opener for the Australian Cup, and then Odeon, who was not beaten far. A gap Constantinople, Suzuka Devious, and Lavendi was last.
She's a beauty, Miss Siska, and she's in career best form at the moment. Damien Lane knows her so well. He rode her right there on the spin.
So once again, they combine on a Saturday afternoon for a black type victory. The third straight year we've seen the Carline Peter Young double completed. Avilius fifth in the Australian Cup last year, Gala Chop second. Interestingly enough, both of them went out of the Australian Cup after winning this race and won the Randwick in Sydney. Miss Siska's got the target, though, of the Group 1 to come.
Very slow edition of the race, and I think both times that Miss Siska's won, while she's got to be good enough, and congratulations to the big team, etc., they've got to tip the hat to Damien Lane, because I think he's produced... I know he was well without cover last up, but both times he's given an absolute perfect ride. He's controlled the speed here from outside Odeon, who's a lovely one to sit on the quarters of because it doesn't hit the line, and now he can just... He can just control the race from that point of view. But there were a number of good runs.
Good morning to the connections of Odeon if you're tuning in. Some good closes in this.
Mirage Dancer from last.
Kingswell Dream, Mirage Dancer, Regal Power, Harlem.
Regal Power. And Regal Power, if you watched early, Pikey was really leaning against the horse. It was quite aggressive. I'm not sure if the speed was so slow the first furlong, but really, really aggressive, but still attacked the line good, I thought.
And if you can see there on our screen, the last 400 metres run in 22.32, which suggests that they've done the best part of their race at the end. And when you take a look at the daily sectionals times, they've run nearly 4 lengths slower, and then almost again 3.5 lengths slower till the 400
Just to give you an idea, 4 of the top 10 final 200s were out of this race, and if you're considering that it's over a distance, well, that just doesn't happen. So they've they've crawled and sprinted.
Yep. Let's take that last 200. Miss Siska, she's flying, winning the Petty Young.
Regal Power down the outside. Miss Siska takes the lead at the 100. Kingsville Dream coming at her. Miss Siska 3/4 a half. Kingsville Dream, but Miss Siska's brave and won. Miss Siska just beat Kingsville Dream.
Story out of the race early on, Grace Remage, Damien Oliver suspended for some interference at the 1600 metre mark on Harlem.
Yep.
It's had, compared to the 2 previous Australian Cups, well, I don't think we'll certainly be getting anywhere near the 40s or 50s that it went around.
Oh, there's a couple there out of that race that he might line up against that I thought were just as good. Yeah.
Let's have a look at what happened in Sydney yesterday.
Glue on shoes, but she seems to me as though she's walking out really nicely. We've seen her under the racecourse gallop where she was able to stretch out and she looked in great order. I just feel that it is a bit of a concern when you look at a horse who has glue on shoes halfway through a preparation. As far as her looks are concerned, she seems to me as though she's at her peak condition. She's got the tightened up again.
Racehorse maybe, North Pacific. Farnan and Blazer Trail, 4th pick for me, Hills.
Taking somewhat of a set against Salsabil, 160 this morning.
Clear. Set now. And they're off and racing. The favourite Salsabil was second last away, and Farnan jumped best from Fiera. Moving up on the outside is Global Quest, and now every rose is showing great muster to head them all off. Followed then by North Pacific Sunborn, the favourite Salsabil second last, and Blazer Trail sees them all. Every rose going quickly in the lead. Out by 2 lengths on Farnan, then came Global Quest. Further back to Sunborn, improving on the inside of Fiera. 2 off to North Pacific, Salsabil second last, and Blazer Trail being shoved along at the rear. Every rose trying to make every poster winner around the turn. Leads by 2 lengths on Farnan. Then Global Quest, Fiera, Sunborn. Salsabil still 6 or 7 off the fence. She's got plenty of work to do, the favourite, as Farnan moved up, takes the lead and kicked away Farnan at the 250. Global Quest goes to second. Salsabil's making ground. She can't win from there, though. Farnan is off and gone from Global Quest. Great go for third. Fiera's running a big race, but Farnan's going to win easily. Farnan from Global Quest. North Pacific, I think, got the bob for third, an inch in front of Fiera, and Salsabil has been soundly beaten in 5th position, followed by Blazer Trail, Sunborn. Every rose has gone quickly and finished last.
Farnan bolts in and books his ticket straight into the Golden Slipper, 7.20 and 2.10. Global Quest $1.70, and we'll wait for third, maybe North Pacific over Fiera.
Yeah, wow. Wasn't that impressive? Is it going to be hard to make?
In Queensland, from the Gold Coast base there, Chris Waller. He looks terrific. Lovely, big, strong fella. He's a one-page.
There was controversy about the delayed stewards report into the horse Farnan and his a hoof problem going into that race. There was plate changes. He didn't win the Magic Millions, but he's back in Sydney and he can win a Golden Slipper off this, guys.
Yeah, well, he can certainly pull out a peak performance, and I must say he was beautifully rated by Bowman. This was a set sprint. It was 0.23 slower than Splintex's overall time from the first, but they've charged home up 0.4 second quicker than him, which is understandable. So he's a horse with great racing style. He's ticked off dry and wet now, and he's obviously a very talented horse. I still think this horse has got a peak performance in him, Global Quest, the Breeders' Plate winner. I think he's had his couple of runs back. They've got blinkers to come. I know they're all been thinking about blinkers all the way through with him. So
he is a blinker horse if I've ever seen one. Yeah. He walks around the yard looking at everything and taking it all in. I think the blinkers wouldn't nicely.
OK, well, what's the story with Salsabil? Was she... Well, obviously, she's chasing her tail now. She's 2 out of 4, 2 out of 5 lame. 2
out of 5 lame, which is pretty significant when you're looking to run in a Golden Slipper in a couple of weeks. I did have a chat with Annabelle Nish.
Favourite at $7. Farnan, $51 into $9. Salsabil, 6 out to 11. Dame Giselle, $11 and very steady. Tagaloa, 51 into 11. Global Quest steady at 15, and Prague is a $15 chance. Thoughts on that market?
They've got no idea. Obviously, they've got no idea as far as what's going to happen with this market. We're clutching at straws until the races next week when something else will firm. There's got to be value in that market if you've got an opinion.
Yeah, I like Prague. I like he's an improver. He's one of those...
Microphone may well seal his third in a week. Pancho goes forward and we're all set now. The light is on. And we're ready. Racing now. The Holy Ones missed the start a bit and Microphone flew out of the gates and the favourite's going to lead very, very easily. Out by 2.5 lengths on Reloaded. Pancho and Brandenburg caught deep early. Then Prince Fawaz from Fortress Command. Kubrick looking to slot in, caught 3 wide at the moment. Get some cover now. Then Castor Vecchio, Shadow Hero, the Holy One. And Warning is the last one. Microphone showed great speed to lead. Brandenburg gets up on the outside, a half length away. Then Reloaded on the inside of Pancho. 2 for the back to Prince Fawaz. Fortress Command the other. 2 then came to Kubrick. He's getting a pretty good run into the race. A length and a half then to Castor Vecchio. His old mate Shadow Hero moving up on the outside. A length and a half to Warning. And last is the Holy One. It's Microphone held together by Bowman coming to the corner. A neck away Brandenburg. Pancho pulling out. Reloaded 4th. Then Fortress Command. Prince Fawaz revved up. Then came Kubrick. 2 for the back to Castor Vecchio and Shadow Hero well into the straight, and Microphone shows the way. Bowman getting into him now. Brandenburg a half length away. Reloaded's taking a gap. Then came Pancho. Castor Vecchio's not in the hunt. It's Microphone being challenged by Brandenburg wide out. Brandenburg moved up, takes the lead. It's Brandenburg just in front. Reloaded coming through, but Brandenburg's going to win the Hobartville. Won it by a long neck. I think Reloaded just pinched second in front of Microphone. Not sure about 4th. Pancho and Castor Vecchio warming up at the end. Then Fortress Command, Shadow Hero, 1 paced up the straight. Then Warning from Prince Fawaz and the Holy One.
A blowout at 40 to 1, $37.70 on the tote, $6.50 the place. Brandenburg, John Sargent and Rachel King have caused a big upset in the Hobartville Stakes. Midas rest between Microphone and Reloaded after placings in the Stan Fox and Carbine Club. He's got a Group 2 win, Brandenburg.
Well, the riding was on the wall. He's a big improver. He went to maiden class, to the Stan Fox second, to the Carbine Club second. I've just loved his trials this preparation. He's in for a good prep, even if he already is here.
Horses first up. Brandenburg caused a boil over at 40 to 1 for John Sargent.
Yeah, look, I'm not so sure it was a boilover. He got to big odds. It's easy in retrospect to say, you know, he shouldn't have went round at that price. But I don't think there was any fluke in this horse. He improved all the way through the spring. You know, he got to that the Stan Fox and he got to the Carbine Club there, and that's a pretty good effort to do that in your first prep. And he's trialling well, and John had been talking.
Did you think he was trialling well?
Yeah, I do. I really do. I like his
Because I thought
trial.
he really improved on his run yesterday from that trial. I didn't think that trial was as good as... Yeah, well, that's why he was the odds, I think.
Yeah, well, those 800-900 metre trials and things aren't going to suit a horse like him, you know. But I found a lot of positives through his trials, and obviously the blinkers helped Reloaded. He was second up there. He had a run under his belt. What do we make about this Microphone? Like, he seemed to have his chance.
I don't think he's come up. I think he had every opportunity yesterday. He jumped out the gates. He put himself in the race. He was really settled in the yard, which has been a negative with him in the past. And I know he's coming off a Group 2 victory in Melbourne, but he should have won that race yesterday. He was up against horses.
Disappointing. What about the Spruik horses? What about Castle Vecchio, Shadow Hero, Warning? They're all the Derby types. I thought they all got pass marks.
Definitely all had pass marks. Out of all of them, I haven't seen a lot of Warning, but he had a bit of improvement in his coat to come. Castle Vecchio is quite an athletic type, so he was not too far off the mark. The horse that has impressed me, and it was stayed in my mind all day, was Shadow Hero. He has come back. He must have come back... It's got to be about 50 kilos heavier. He's built up. He's always been quite a wiry type. But
Castle Vecchio. Super Seth is the favourite at $5 for the Randwick Guineas, the next Group 1. In front of Shadow Hero at $6. Microphone stays at 7. Shadow Hero 7. Brandenburg was 15 into 9. Reloaded 15 into 9. And Shenny...
Yes, Hayes, last time they met, we went up at $2.60. Catalyst the favourite for the Australian Guineas after that clash with Alligator Blood, but it's Alligator Blood. We went up $3.10. Now he's a clear-cut favourite. The Tribe has spoken. Alligator Blood clear-cut favourite now into $2.70. Catalyst out to $2.90 from $2.50 this morning. And then Alabama Express, gee, $7.50. In half a point to $7. Chenier, he's out to $8.50 if you like him. Have a look at the WA 3-year-old. $15 into 10 to sit back and go.
It's the first horse to assess. He's won 6 from 8. He's a gelded son of Darcy Brahma, who came close to winning an Australian Guineas. Catalyst.
Third up should be peaking, and now you'd imagine, Richo, it sounds like they're going to just run him with that touch more patience today. He's got an outstanding turn of foot. He posts some incredible...
Horse number 1, Alligator Blood. He's earned $2.2 million, and the C.S. Hayes Guineas double. Well, that's been completed 3 times in the last 5 years. He comes through the right form reference.
Well, he's a war horse, there's no doubt about that. He was so brave last start. I thought he was very strong at the end of that race, and the key advantage for him today, apart from being in peak fitness, hopefully he's on at the end of his prep, he certainly looks well, but he just knows how to dig in and win. He's won 9 out of 10. He could eat.
Catalyst here, Richo, he's a lovely athletic type. He's got good muscle definition. It looks like he's just come on a fraction since that first up run in the CS Hayes a fortnight ago in that absolute ding-dong battle with Alligator Blood.
For Alligator Blood, and he's a clear-cut favour with Sportsbet. The punters love him. The volume of bets absolutely dominate on the books with Sportsbet, and some big bets coming through for Alligator Blood to dictate terms and win the Australian Guineas. But
an attendant with Alligator Blood signal racing. Alligator Blood jumped away really well. No Speed Superstorm in the first 100 metres. Catalyst began really quickly with Delasan. Commodus out wide, and also Alabama Express are pushing up. So after 250, Alligator Blood led Alabama Express. Commodus 4 deep. They were followed by Catalyst behind those horses. Next, Soul Patch, a length and a half. Delasan, 2 lengths. Chenier and Superstorm is at the end. So the bolter Commodus is forcing up on the outside of Alligator Blood. They're a length in front of Alabama Express. Third, the outer of Soul Patch. Further back is Catalyst, who let it unfold in the first 600 metres. Superstorm the fence, followed by Delasan and Chenier. Alligator Blood kicks up on the inside at the 850. It's been solid here with Commodus. A length and a quarter, Alabama Express, the outside of Soul Patch. Catalyst now about to peel out 3 deep. It wants to go. Further back is Superstorm getting off the fence from Delasan, a length and a half to Chenier. The field come around the turn at the 600. Alligator Blood just in front of Commodus. Alabama Express 3 deep. Catalyst 4 deep. Lane hasn't moved. Soul Patch runs up behind them from Superstorm, and then Delasan and Chenier. Alligator Blood. Maloney with a pocket full of aces. Kicks for home about a length and a half. Catalyst, Soul Patch. Further back in the field, Superstorm, Delasan. Alligator Blood lets down at the clock tower at the 200. 2 lengths in front of Soul Patch, followed by Catalyst, Superstorm. Alligator Blood, 100 metres to go. His big heart pounding. He's clear. He wins. Alligator Blood won it by a length. Photo second. Superstorm or Soul Patch. Fourth, Chenier, then Delasan. Catalyst not today. Commodus second last. Alabama Express was last.
He's a champion. It's as simple as that, because he's able to do it everywhere. He takes up the running. They put a lot of speed on early, and then Ryan Maloney eventually got control of the race. He dropped the tempo out, and you just knew that he was going to be up for the fight. He sprints away, and Ryan Maloney, whose career was at the crossroads, he was in the doldrums in Victoria, and 18 months ago packed his bags, went to Queensland. He arrives back now a Group 1 winner, and that was thrilling. Soul Patch and Superstorm going to fight out for runner-up. Chenier nearly fell. He's done a great job to pick himself up and run fourth. All honours the Queenslander.
He's a superstar, their source, Corey. The 201 pop early in the race just threw a complete fly in the ointment.
Yeah.
And everything Ryan did, I mean, to ask this horse, and he just kept responding.
You know, it's fantastic. First Group 1. Oh, how's it feel, man?
Oh, mate, what a way to do it. This horse, David, the owners, Alan, Jeff and Robin, and back at home at headquarters, mate. Oh, what a one-act affair in the end. It's unbelievable.
Well, first things first, talk us through the race. You got driven mad a little bit by the maidener in the race, which wasn't ideal. Softened you up a little bit?
It did, but I was happy to let Alabama Express cross me, but when I seen it, I wanted to take the sit and the maidener outside him 3 deep. I knew he was going to keep pushing forward, so I really had no choice but to use him in the early stages, because there's no way I wanted to be following a maidener. So I had to use him a little bit, but Mate, this horse has just thrived since his CSAs. I can't believe how easy he won in the end. It's just...
For Alan and all the owners, and also for Ryan, brilliant.
Yeah, look, that was just amazing, and wow. I mean, he won with authority. He did it for Queensland, he did it for the owners, he did it for All Too Hardy's stallion, he did it for Ryan, and it was just an amazing performance at Group 1 level in a top-class field. So I'm just blown away by what he just did then.
He got pressured early, he absorbed that, and then he just got a couple of sectionals where he just dropped the tempo off. His sprint was unbelievable.
Well, you can't quantify guts. I mean, we can look at the form and we can think where he should finish in a field, but his determination and will to win has, you know, it's gone to a new level. And he'd been here at Flemington before, he'd led before, he was softened up a bit early, but did he want to win? Yes, he did.
How have you been able to keep peaking?
He keeps winning, it might turn into a movie script.
I mean, as we've spoken about on the show before, the horse is just... He's quickly getting to icon status. You know, arguably should be undefeated. He's now 10 out of 11, won his first Group 1 yesterday. But just the backstory with the horse being passed in as a yearling for $50,000. The owners have knocked back a large offer from Hong Kong. I think it was about $3.2 million. He's a gelding. They want to race the horse in Australia. The guy that owns him has gone through some troubled times. I think he's gone through bankruptcy as well, and his wife's recovering from cancer. So it's just a phenomenal story. And then to see Ryan Maloney just riding like Darren Beadman or Corey Brown aboard this horse yesterday, you know, just controlling the race from the front. I just thought it was a fantastic story. And after...
race, he's 10 of 11 now. The only beat was a lip in the Caulfield Guineas, but they get the other Guineas.
Yeah, I wonder what was going through his mind at this point. Firstly, Catalyst jumped a lot better than I thought he might, and he was there, but Alabama Express kicking up Corey, and then we had Ethan Brown, which was a surprise, of course, to push forward on Commodus and just this stage of the race.
Yeah, I was really wrapped with mainly Mickey D's ride at this point of the race, because Mickey D could have thrown a real spanner in the works if he had kept pushing and made Ethan work across to go to the lead, because then, you know...
Section, they were 3 lengths inside of Standard. They steadied in the middle part, and then they've come home 4 lengths ahead of Standard as well. So quick, steady, quick.
So let's get them straightening up. Alligator Blood goes beast mode and finally grabs a Group 1 in the Australian Guineas.
Alabama Express 3 deep, Catalyst 4 deep, Lane hasn't moved. Soul Patch runs up behind them from Superstorm, and then Dallas San and Chenia. Alligator Blood, Maloney with a pocket full of aces, kicks for home about 1.5 lengths. Catalyst, Soul Patch, further back in the field, Superstorm, Dallas San, Alligator Blood lets down at the clock tower at the 200. 2 lengths in front of Soul Patch, followed by Catalyst, Superstorm, Alligator Blood. 100 metres to go. His big heart pounding. He's clear. He wins. Alligator Blood won it.
So much to enjoy and reflect from the race. We start with the winner and the stories as we know. So you've got a jockey and a trainer who have overcome substance abuse issues. As you said, Simo, Alan Endra's the owner's wife, terminal.
You know, he wasn't ridden out. He just got there, did it comfortably, and Matt Hill summed it up an absolute treat when he could see that the horse at the 300 was going to give a really strong kick, and he said he's got a pocket full of aces, and absolutely he did have a pocket full of aces, but some really good runs in behind the second and third horses, both really strong, particularly Superstorm having his first run from out west. Just shows that Western Australian form, the best Western Australian form, does measure up to Group 1 standard.
Grace,
the Eastern States.
The training effort of David Van Dyke, and we need to sing his praises on several Gator Blood yesterday.
Damien Oliver, Chenier.
Yeah, he just got flattened. He did a good job to pick himself up and still run a good race. But yeah, it was unfortunate. Thanks.
Willie Pike, Superstorm.
I've never been so happy to run second in my life.
Jamie Carr, Delisand.
Yeah, he was a bit plain running up.
Damien Lane, Catalyst.
Yeah, look, the race shape turned out terrible for him. Outside of going forward and really backing off the tempo from outside the lead really put us in a sticky spot, and I had to let him stride in the race early. He just raced a little greenly when I asked him, and without a horse close to him to chase like last start, I just feel he didn't lengthen as well. See how he pulls up and go for there, but it may be that he might need the blinkers back on.
Craig Williams' soul patch.
Yeah, delighted. Great addition of the gear change for Ken Keys for today's race from his barrier. He feels like he's really looking forward to getting out to 10 furlongs and to chase down Alligator Blood like he did. I was really happy with his...
Maybe he felt okay, but maybe an issue there. See what the vets come back with.
The footage also of Chenier, so wasn't in your TV screens until just passing the 200. There was reasonable market support around. We only had the small sample. It was having its 4th start yesterday, but this is Damien Oliver clipping the heels of Superstorm, just passing the 900 yesterday. Dips down here and he almost comes off. Corey, I'm sure you've found yourself in those situations many a time, which to then see the horse balance up and run 4th at its 4th start, so impressive.
Yeah, it was very impressive. Yeah, I have found myself in a few of those spots. It definitely
into talking about Catalyst, because he was one of the more disappointing performances on Fate. Believe that it was the race shape, as we heard from Damien as a part of the beaten jockeys, but the fact that Commodus, the outsider of the field, has rolled forward, pushed him 3 back on the one-off line, but forced him to not only take hold, have the horse using too much energy earlier on in the race, but then flush deep. And when they flush deep, I mean,
it was still
Alligator Blood...
for mine.
Really disappointing, but I think they made the move. It was premeditated that they wanted to get cover on the horse.
Yes.
Then there was no speed in the race in the early stages. So the horse has jumped perfectly alongside Alligator Blood. He could have easily done what he did in the CS Hayes and sat outside Alligator Blood, and it would have been a ding-dong battle again. But they decided that they wanted to try and get cover, and then the race didn't unfold the way it was.
But I think he still presented there.
Here's the market for the All-Star Mile, which is at Caulfield in 13 days' time. We anticipate now Alligator Blood has ticked the mile box and is duly favourite. Catalyst remains to be seen whether he will return for the All-Star Mile, and of course Melody Bell looming after that impressive performance last week in the Futura.
Let's worry about that if it happens. Let's go down and have a look at Alligator Blood winning the Australian Guineas yesterday. If the Shark was impressive, so was this.
Oh, look, he's just a winning machine, isn't he? He just keeps delivering the good. First Group 1 win for horse and jockey, so that's a marvellous achievement. What can you say? Superstorm was very good. That Perth form has shaped up pretty well there. I don't know what's left for him. Maybe he gets a little sneaky invite into the All-Star Mile. A horse like Superstorm. I thought Soul Patch probably laid his cards on the table for a race like the Rosehill Guineas. He looks like he's a beautiful 2,000-metre horse. Chenier nearly fell early after clipping heels of Dallasan there, and I thought he's still on the up, this Chenier. He could develop into a Queen Elizabeth type of horse after he, gets through the 3-year-old campaign. There's the Everest market there. I know it's early, but Alligator Blood $11. I think interesting. The 9.
And Nick, the pick of the yard for you?
Look, I've gone with the favourite here, Richo, in 50 stars. I thought he's shown the right improvement from his first up run to his second up run. And obviously, from a sectional point of view, he stands out to some degree.
OK, 50 stars remains the popular way here. Punter's a little guarded because the lack of speed in this race, and who is going to be brave enough as a jockey to take it up and dictate terms. And that is 50 stars, you'd expect. Sosi Bond's been spec'd. He got out to a better price at $9.50 into $8.50. From his inside barrier, he can sit a little bit closer in this field. Admiral's Joker, Night's Watch, get back. And
catch up with David Hayes. Can 50 stars go back-to-back?
Look, I think he's in very good form, and we're hoping he can put his hand up.
Racing at the 1,600 metres. Night's Watch goes back to the end. 50 stars third last out. Galaxy Raider jumped away really well. Led early from Sosi Bon and Secret Blaze, followed by Ringer Ding Ding and Admiral's Joker. Next in the field is Gallic Chieftain Night's Watch. 50 stars wide and back at the moment. 1.5 lengths to Guizo. So Sosi Bon leads from Galaxy. 50 stars is 3 and 4 deep and second last in that pack, and Guizo is at the end. So it's Sosi Bon, the front runner, heading towards the 850 from Galaxy Raider. A length Secret Blaze, Admiral's Joker the outer, and then came Ringer Ding Ding fifth the fence. Further back is 50 stars, Night's Watch, Gallic Chieftain, and Guizo whipped them in. 600 metres to go, and Sosi Bon has kept them running. Led by a length Galaxy Raider. Secret Blaze is third. Next Admiral's Joker presenting 4 deep, nice and early at the 500 metres. 4 off the lead as Sosi Bon kicks into the bend. Night's Watch runs up behind them. 50 stars down the centre, sooling up, and then Ringer Ding Ding. Sosi Bon at the 300 metres, led a length and a half. Secret Blaze. Here's 50 Stars, Unwinding, and then Admiral's Joker, Night's Watch. They've got to Sophie Bon. 50 Stars, Secret Blaze go up together. 50 Stars at the 100, take Secret Blaze, then Admiral's Joker. 50 Stars looking to go back to back. It'll win. 50 Stars won a length and a half. Secret Blaze second from Admiral's Joker. Photo 4, Sophie Bon or Galaxy Raider, followed by Night's Watch, Ring-a-Ding-Ding, a gap to Guizo, and Gallic Chieftain at the end.
Best horse wins. He goes back to back and he books a spot into the All-Star Mile and gives Lindsay Park Racing something to think about. Will they accept and have a crack at the richest mile race in the world? Secret Blaze runs second, Admiral's Joker third, Sophie Bon right there on speed runs fourth. Well, he does. In the last 30 years, Durbridge and Better Loosen Up have been able to go back to back in the Blamey as Ben and David look on and go, "You're beauty." We've got him into the All-Star Mile. He was just too good.
Hazy to back in the race. Now the question begs whether they go All-Star Mile or Australian Cup.
Yeah, surprised. I mean, I didn't sort of pick this up visually, but according to the Daily Sectionals information, this was the highest rated performance on raw times. They were a couple of lengths outside of standard early, but they ramped it up from the 800 where they went almost 8 lengths or 7.8 and then home in 5.1. So this effort of 50 Stars rated very well, the best performance on the day. Corey, and you, sort of
mapping so well was the unexpected leader.
I didn't expect to see Galaxy Raider
sitting outside the leader,
and then the Secret Blazers normally have a bit of ground, and then but there, yeah, I mean it was I mean if you work that map out, go buy a lotto ticket.
Class prevailing in the end. 50 Stars going back to back for Craig Williams and Lindsay Park in the Blamey.
Kicks into the bend. Night's Watch runs up behind them. 50 Stars down the centre, Sooling up, and then Ring-a-Ding-Ding. Sophie Bon at the 300 metres, led a length and a half. Secret Blaze. Here's 50 Stars, Unwinding, and then Admiral's Joker, Night's Watch. They've got to Sophie Bon. 50 Stars, Secret Blaze go up together. 50 Stars at the 100, take Secret Blaze, then Admiral's Joker. 50 Stars looking to go back to back. It'll win. 50 Stars won a length and a half. Secret
Fastest Blamey since 2006. Secret Blaze, you mentioned, good performance. Had run third in a carbine track and distance. Hadn't seen it since running in the Bagot on New Year's Day.
It was one of the runs of the day, really, in retrospect, when you look at those times, because he's been 3 wide, no cover, on a pretty good tempo, it's got to be said. So the win was solid. The form's got to stack up out of this race because it rated pretty well. But look, the winner was the story, really, Grace, and where they decide to go.
Well, that's the next question, isn't it? Because after the race, of course, we know 50 Stars.
There is a race for Ring-a-Ding-Ding. It didn't pan out well for him yesterday, but he needs to get to the... He's a midfielder. He needs to get to the far outside, because when he's cluttered up inside horses, he doesn't go. But once he gets clear air, like he was really strong late in that race, albeit the ship had sailed. But
it was his last win in Sydney on a wettish track. I think that might help his cause out a little bit as well. Testing conditions and maybe up.
7-5 for me. I'm with her as well. Stella Pauline. She'll do me. She gets a stamp, gets to put herself into the slipper here, and I think she's been beautifully prepared. Love the trial.
40 for the Miners. 2 into an 8-race card on Cup Day from Wangaratta.
And the gates are back. They're off, and Harmonium jumped out fairly. Stella Pauline's actually jumped really well, and Harmonium's now mustering to go through and join her with Bella Nepotina railing through. Tilia Rose will just take a sit behind them in fourth. Then came Dismissal from Queen K, and Hungry Heart is the last one. Brenton Abdullah's pushing on the favourite Stella Pauline, and he wants the fence. He draws a length and a half clear from Harmonium up on the outside of Bella Nepotina. 2 further back to Tilia Rose, getting a nice run into it. Further back to Queen K, Dismissal, and Hungry Heart is the last one. So it's Stella Pauline in a slightly different role today as front runner by 3/4 to Harmonium. Bella Nepotina third, then came Tilia Rose. They turn the corner, and it's Stella Pauline, the favourite, coming up the rise, a length clear from Harmonium. Bella Nepotina's taking the gap between them. Tilia Rose not going well. Hungry Heart is the Franco filly coming down the outside. He has to get into Stella Pauline with Hungry Heart moving up on the outside. Going well, Hungry Heart took a narrow lead from Stella Pauline, who's got no answer late, and Hungry Heart's off to the slipper. Won it by a length to Stella Pauline. Dismissal third, followed then by Bella Nepotina and Harmonium. Tilia Rose was disappointing, and Queen K was last.
Strong win by Hungry Heart. Chris Waller will have a presence in the Golden Slipper. James McDonald down the outside. Hungry Heart over the top of Stella Pauline. Dismissal sneaking up on the inside. Back here at Randwick, we've got the Skyline Stakes coming up, but after the Sweet Embrace win by Hungry Heart, Glenn Munsey back. Saw puzzle. Yesterday we saw two races, the Sweet Embrace for the fillies, the Skyline for the colts. Both winners go into the Golden Slipper. Firstly, the fillies, and Hungry Heart comes sweeping home to win for Chris Waller.
Yeah, lovely, strong filly. Obviously, she's got the hype of being by Frankel, and she's always showed something, being strong at all of her trials, and her only start down the straight there at Flemington. But she did a good job yesterday. This was a bit of a run on track, you have to admit, even though there's a few horses that led it forward on particularly well. So you'd mark it fair, but no disadvantage getting out wide and running on late in races. So she's done that well. Stella Pauline, and she's probably chasing a tail. It's an awkward... I suppose you still got a chance to run the week before and back up into the slipper, but is it an ideal situation?
I think, speaking to the Snowdens briefly after the race, I think...
Good job, pick up a bit of black type there. I don't know where this race sits. So that's another one where you say, I want to have one more look. We keep saying this, I want to have one more look at this form. I want to have one more look.
I think the winner, personally, the winner's got to be the horse that you're going to follow going forward.
Race number 3, the Sweps Skyline Stakes, 1200 Group 2, another golden ticket into the slipper. And our mounting out is brought to you by Harvey Norman Shop. We need a win to get into the slipper. Place prize money isn't going to be enough. So it is a golden ticket into the world's richest 2-year-old race. And it's a great lineup of colts here, 9 of them, Duff.
Yeah, well...
Gates are back and they're racing, and Prague jumped away fairly. Postcode handled the start well. Gorsham was quickly into stride. Mama Ragan goes forward, and there's Prague and the blinkers moving up with Mission River, and right up the inside is Argentus improving. Behind them, Tommy Gold from Aim and Asamu's last of all. So it's Postcode the leader. Mama Ragan moves up on the outside to challenge. Gorsham off the course in third. Very wide though from Mission River, then Prague. Argentus is buried back on the inside as the tightly bunched field at the 600. Further back to Asamu on the outside of Tommy Gold, and Aim is last. There's only 3.5 lengths covering the field. Postcode, Mama Ragan, Gorsham's out very deep. Back on the inside, Argentus. Prague is working into the clear from Mission River. Aim's going to need some luck. Tommy Gold will need luck. Asamu gets to the outside. Mama Ragan lays it down now to Postcode. 2 lengths clear from Prague, who's only grinding. Then Asamu. Argentus can't get out of a pocket. It's Mama Ragan taking the lead of the 150 from Asamu going to second. Mama Ragan in front from Asamu. Nothing else a chance, but Mama Ragan kept going. Mama Ragan for Blake Shin beat Asamu. Aim worked into the clear to run third, followed by Postcode, Argentus. Prague won pace, then Tommy Gold. Further back to Mission River, and Gorshan did a very tough and understandably weakened to finish last.
Well, Mama Ragan from nowhere gets a ticket into the Golden Slipper. A first starter today at $20.20 and $4.80 beats Asamu at $4.40 and Aim $1.70. Mama Ragan. Now keep in mind, this horse was on debut yesterday. No horse has won the Golden Slipper at its second start. And if it was to win the Slipper, no horse has won having made its debut so close to the Slipper. Toy Show 31 days on debut before the Slipper winning. This one 21 days. Can Mama Ragan win a Slipper? History says no.
Yeah, history's always there to be broken. And I love this win. He went out harder than the fillies, and we were just saying, oh, it might have been an advantage running on. Well, he fought him off. I heard Lizzie comment about him in the yard. You know, his eyes are popping out. He was that excited to be there. And that's exactly how he paraded. He enjoyed his racing, this horse. And I love the way he'd trialled. He hadn't been let go. We didn't know what he had up the sleeve. I find him very, very interesting, this horse. He's a likeable horse. Asamu was expected to go better in the blinkers, and he did. Aim, I should have fought the finish out. Ben Melham got suspended for causing him interference in the vital stage in the straight, and he's a horse that just can't pick up and sprint. It takes forever for him to wind up. So
does that put him into the category
of Ace at Cup Day feature? We're urging towards it. It is race number 6 for $100,000. Cup Day main quaddie starts with the next. Riding with number 3, Imaging Brass. There it is as it steps out for the first time in Australia.
Chunky sort of horse, plenty of leg and size and substance.
City Cup about to be decided. 1,300 metres.
Well, he wanted it. Now he's up.
You happy, Tom? And they're racing. Cascadian's only jumped fairly off the inside, and Vega Days pinned the lids to lead comfortably from Imaging and Quackerjack. Quackerjack goes to second. Cascadian improves to third now. On the inside of Imaging, Rock behind them in fifth. Then came I Am Superman, Lanciato, Yulong Prince and Eldorado Dreaming's last. So Jean Van Overmeer is going to try and repeat the tactics of last time when successful. Vega Days shows the way. And controlling the race by a length on Quackerjack, who's just going to sit back a fraction. Cascadian's a lot closer today, third on the inside of the European import Imaging, 2.5 further back to Rock than Lanciato. I Am Superman, Eldorado Dreaming going through on the fence, and Yulong Prince is the last one. 600 metres to run. Vega Days held together, been travelling well from Quackerjack, and Cascadian is coming off their heels, trying to push into the clear. Oh, there's some argy-bargy there between Cascadian and Imaging. It's Vega Days in front. Quackerjack is flat to the board to the outside. Vega Days are half in front to Quackerjack. The other two put themselves out of it. Quackerjack trying to get on terms with Vega Days. Vega Days lifting. Quackerjack makes the final lunge and Jack got up. Quackerjack nailed Vega Days right on the line. Not sure about third, Rock, Cascadian, and close-up Lanciato with I Am Superman. If I didn't call it before, Rock wasn't far away. Then Eldorado Dreaming from Yulong Prince and Imaging. Talk about argy-bargy between him and Cascadian.
Gee whiz, Boss and McDonald, we haven't seen anything like that in an age here in Sydney. That got very serious with Imaging and horse Quackerjack. He's a Villiers winner. He's already in the Doncaster. He's exempt from ballot, and he's on the right track. Big Quackerjack beating Vega Days. Pool City Cup, and there's plenty to talk about here. Not only about the win of Quackerjack and the runner-up Vega Days, but the tussle. It was more than a tussle going on mid-stretch between Glenn Boss and James McDonald. But first about the winner, Quackerjack.
Yeah, well, what went on here? I'm still trying to work this one out, but the two on-pace runners here eyeballing each other all the way. Vega Days with no weight. You thought he was going to hold on, and then Quackerjack come at him, and then Vega Days fights back. But he's a real fighter, this Quackerjack. We all know he's already qualified for the Doncaster Mile, having won the Villiers last preparation, so the timing's right for him to, you know, really have him right on the day. Two good performances, but what was going on here? I know Bossy's been suspended here. Maybe he thought the inside was no good, and he was adamant he wanted to get to the outside. And he was getting out there inside there at all costs, because there was always going to be a run inside for him if he wanted it. And yeah, how much does this affect a horse? You know, all horses are individuals. I see one of the stewards' reports say about I think Imaging might have pulled up 2 out of 5, was he?
Yeah, that's right, 2 out of 5 lame. So whether that's happened, I mean, he certainly wasn't lame before the race, whether that's happened during the race when there was pretty significant, you know, interference. I mean, you see the Bossy comes out now, and Imaging, he wouldn't be used to this type of racing. He was, you know, pushed off balance on the bend almost, and he ran straight back into Cascadian, and that was, you know, it wasn't James. It didn't look like it was James McDonald steering him. He was just trying to hold his ground. Yep. Look, I think that's something, I'm not a jockey, so I can't comment. I'll leave that in your corner. But I think the overall makeup of the race and the winner and those horses behind that were hitting the line strongly, I think it was a sit and sprint home. So you're going to see lots of horses. You're going to see lots of horses hitting the line well. There was a good set.
And Probabile equals second pick also at 440. Mounting Yard brought to you by Harvey Norman. Shop with confidence if you need advice.
And performers and Fun Star easy in the betting, quiet ride here, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. But Flit and Lyre have got performance on the board so far and run one back.
Well, it was all blue, blue, blue in the light thing, Flit and Fun Star and others.
Yeah, in again, Flit into 260 now, giving a twist out to Fun Star to 440. Probabile a twist to 5. Lyre stayed 7.
Here's Miss Old Mantra about about to move up into the gates for the first Group 1 of the Autumn Carnival. This will be followed by the...
Off in the surround stakes, and jumping very well was Kiamichi. Zealong was fast into stride. Heart of the Oak will take a prominent role, and Flit is caught a little bit deep in the early stages. Liar's going through on the inside, so Bowman looking to drop in here on the favourite Flit. A couple of lengths further back to Probabeel on the outside of Aspect Ratio, and Missile Mantra back on the rails. A length further back to Sarsfi, who's firing up badly back in the field. From Akari and Funstar's been dragged back to last and up the inside, going to second and third last now. Kiamichi in front by a length of the 800 from Zealong. Flit 3 wide third, then Liar fourth, the fence from Heart of the Oak, Probabeel, and Sarsfi's pulling its way around the field. Further back to Missile Mantra, Aspect Ratio. Funstar gets up into a 3 wide spot now. McDonald's starting to put her into the race, coming to the turn, and Akari is the last one. Kiamichi with 2 lengths leader around the turn from Zealong. Then came Lara further back to Flit. Now Funstar's getting to the outside, 6 off the lead. Probabeel back to second last. Kiamichi under siege. Lara up the fence from Zealong. Then Flit, Funstar, and further back to Probabeel is winding up late. The roughie Zealong still in front of the surround. Funstar and Probabeel down the outside. Probabeel and Funstar. Probabeel sealed the deal right on the post. Probabeel got up to beat Funstar and Zealong in the surround. Then came Liar from Missile Mantra and Flit. Further back to Heart of the Oak from Akari. Aspect Ratio, Kiamichi and Sarsfi was way too keen.
Two great Kiwi jockeys fighting it out. Opie Bosson on Probabeel and James McDonald on Funstar. Well, Funstar had Probabeel's measure in 2 runs in the spring, the T-Rose and the Flight. Probabeel couldn't beat Funstar, but she's done it today. Probabeel is a Group 1 winner of the Surround Stakes, beating Funstar, Keelong and Liar over...
How did that then pan out for you?
Yeah, I just got myself in a little bit of a pocket and just hit a bit of a flat spot, and I'm just lucky enough this horse is good enough to get yourself out of it. Otherwise,
we know we've got a great bunch of 3-year-olds, and we know we've got a great crop of 3-year-old fillies, and this was a clash. Funstar had the wood on Probabeel in the spring. It turned around yesterday.
Funstar's getting to the outside, 6 off the lead. Probabeel back to second last. Kiamichi under...
I thought she had the jump on Funstar got the jump on Probabeel as well early in the straight there. Probabeel was in front of her. McDonald made his move. It was a good move, and you thought it was a winning move. But I just feel the filly with a couple of runs under a belt, a barrier trial against a first-up filly who had to be negative from a wide draw. I thought there was a lot of positives to come out of that run from Funstar yesterday, even though she was beaten by a better filly on the day. She ticked off a dry track, first run on a dry track. She was first up without the racing style. But given every hope, but I think the future is rosy as far as her still being a chance of dominating these longer 3-year-old fillies races. Outside of that, I think Quilong's underrated. I don't know what to think of Flit. I know she got exposed 3 deep there and wanted to over-race, so maybe a little forgiving.
I would definitely be forgiving her, but going back to the winner, she would definitely be forgiving her, but going back to the winner, she got a check at the 600-metre mark. She was, you know, she wasn't sort of in a comfortable rhythm like Funstar was, and I actually think that Probabeel will continue to improve as the distances get longer. I've always been a bit of a fan of hers, and I do like Fun.
Thought we were in a spot of bother on the corner there. She was under the pump, but to her credit, she really found the line well, and she's a very exciting filly.
There's not much between these girls, but your girl has come back so well.
Yeah, she had the fitness edge on a couple of these today, and we knew that she had to be somewhere near her absolute best in a good quality race like this, but full credit to the team at home that sends her over in such good order, and she's done a wonderful...
absolutely superb, the way she's come back. Can't wait for her next run.
Glenn Boss, Keelong.
Yeah, she was very good, this girl. Obviously first up over 1400 after missing a run. Got in the right spot, but geez, I thought she was very tough to line to, to finish behind 2 very, very good fillies.
Karen McAvoy, Liar.
Good effort, yeah. We were able to use the draw a little bit and sort of land right behind the speed and travelled nicely. I picked up like I was the winner of the furlong and just levelled out the last little bit, but a good run.
Hugh Bowman, Flit.
I was caught wide, but my take on it is that she might have just lost that speed second up. She was so good first up and she was good through the line, so I was hoping to win, but I'm not disappointed with her.
A terrific rider, but again, he must have some very good horses to be in the shape that he's in coming over here and riding so well.
Probable's had the fitness edge with a couple of runs recently, whereas we haven't seen Funstar since October. So I would have thought at its next start, Funstar will turn the tables on Probable. I think she's a superior horse, but Probable just had that fitness advantage yesterday.
They're going to have some good clashes, aren't they? I mean, we talk about some of the clashes that we saw through Alligator Blood and Catalyst, etc. But these two, you know...
They're the best two fillies we've got in the country, even though Probable's a New Zealander.
And potential that Probable could come to the All-Star Mile.
Right.
Good luck.
Thank you.
The big one of the day, the Group 1 Weight for Age Tab Chipping Norton Stakes over 1,600 metres and a field of 13 to line up.
Great walk on him, and he looks to have a lovely nature. He should run right up to his looks today.
Yeah, the Shark hats.
So staying ahead of the NOP at the moment. Dreamforce was as short as 440, touch 5, back into 480, 460 to 480 NOP. Avilius.
And the gates are back. They're off and racing, and Dreamforce jumped away really well, looking for the early lead. Homesman's right there. Happy Clapper out deep is pushing forward. On the outside of Very Elegant, Fierce Impact, Lifeless Ordinary, Handy. Then came Duke Honor. Angel of Truth is beaten for speed. Then Come Play With Me. Tiako Shark in the orange jacket is back fourth last. Behind early is Avilius with Cariff, and Dancer Terry is taken back to last. So it's Dreamforce in front. Happy Clapper rolls up on the outside, goes to a clear second. Very Elegant racing keenly in third in front of Lifeless Ordinary, and Homesman settles fifth. A length and a half into Duke On from the dual Group 1 winner Fierce Impact. 2 after Angel of Truth, then Come Play With Me. Tiako Shark, Avilius the fence from Cariff, and last of all is Dancer Terrier. The Shark's a bit keen back in the field at the 800 metres, and Dreamforce is rolling in the lead. Happy Clapper really keeping him honest at the 600 metres. They've upped the tempo. 2.5 clear from Very Elegant. Then Lifeless Ordinary, Homesman. 2 after Fierce Impact, Duke On. Further back to Angel of Truth. Bosson starting a run on Tiako Shark, and Avilius is next at the top of the straight. Dreamforce the leader from Happy Clapper. Then Lifeless Ordinary, Very Elegant. 2 further back to Homesman. Then Fierce Impact. Tiako Shark is circling wide out, but still 4 off them. Dreamforce just in front from Happy Clapper. Very Elegant. Wide out Tiako Shark. The Shark's coming for the kill. Tiako Shark right over the top. Good up to win it from Very Elegant, and Fierce Impact third. There's the Group 1 double for Jamie Richards and Opie Bosson. Right behind Happy Clapper, then Homesman. Further back to Lifeless Ordinary, Avilius, Angel of Truth, Dancer Terra, Cariff, Duke On. Dreamforce buckled out, and Come Play With Me. He's done it. The Shark, Tiako Shark from well back, has swamped them to win the Chipping Norton.
What a horse. The big chestnut from New Zealand. He's rounded them up, and we've got a new weight for age star to cheer home today. Tiako Shark, he's here for the autumn, and there'll be more appearances coming up. Beats Very Elegant, and Fierce Impact's going to stick his nose down.
Star for many decades now, but boy, this is a great day at the office, Opie.
Oh, it's amazing it's hard enough to just get a ride here, let alone win 2 Group 1s.
And to have 2 stars, I mean, you won the Group 1 earlier. You must have been on cloud 9 coming out here. And gosh, I watched you in the prelim. This horse just looks so graceful, so strong going to the gates.
He is. He's got stronger this time, and he's just so laid back about things too. And he doesn't know how good he actually is. He's untapped still.
Yeah, they looked to be...
We've just seen a phenomenal performance from a real star.
Yeah, no, he's something special, isn't he? It didn't go real quick early. Blake sort of slowed them, and Tommy popped off, and they only went steady, but he was good late, and just a very, very exciting horse.
You know what he can do. You know he's got a big finish. Did you think he could do that today?
I said to Opie, just don't be as far back as you were on Probable, but sort of ended up back in a sticky spot. But when he gets on his outside leg and he gets a bit of clear, he can really charge late. And as I said before with Probable, full credit to the team at home that have sent him over in such good order.
What we got yesterday was something brand new and a new star to cheer. here. He's a Kiwi, he's a big chestnut, and he's got everything, Duff and Lizzie.
He definitely got everything, I think. This is a test for him. He had work to do. He had nothing to bring him into the race. He had to do it all on his own. He ran 32.59 for the last 600 metres on a track that wasn't playing fast. 10.93, 10.62, 11.04. There is these last 200 metre sectionals. I thought it was a superb performance, beating a very, very good field. Sky's the limit for him. The second filly, well, she's back, and she ticks a few boxes here. Very elegant. She showed that she can race closer. She showed that the dry track's no problem for her. That's two good efforts from her now. She's a more mature mare and well on her way. He's just so genuine. Fierce Impact at this level, there's no doubt about it. Avilius is good again. His sectionals were great. He just needs the wet track for it to give him the edge. And Happy Clapper was solid. All in all, a good race, but a huge performance from the winner.
A huge performance.
Could be interesting.
Especially Kiwis would go home. Both ran really well. Obviously, Gallanton defeat, but just beaten by two better horses on the day today.
Brenton Abdullah, Fierce Impact.
Yeah, he went terrific, had a perfect run. Winner was too good. He's probably looking for a mile and a quarter.
Hugh Bowman, Avilius.
Yeah, he ran well. He was no match for the winner, but he's on track to be competitive in Group 1s in the order.
Tommy Berry, Happy Club.
Is up.
OK, now, Tiakau Shark is now $2.30 in the George Ryder. He's next to Simon. Duff and Lizzie, these internationals will want to be very good to beat Tiakau Shark. Deb is equal second favourite, but this highly regarded Japanese horse, Danon Premium, is the favourite for the Queen Elizabeth Stakes. So if they get here in one piece for the Queen Elizabeth and throw in those other horses on that page, and there's another page to come, what a clash.
This from Darren Flindell too.
The Shark is circling.
Yeah, circling and going for the kills. Terrific. This form will stack up really well. What a win. He's a good horse, this one.
Horse. Look, and 90% of stayers, the further they go into their prep, the more they lose that turn of foot. But like, he was explosive yesterday, but you just wish to get hold of that turn of foot that he does over that sort of distance when he gets up over further. He's a superstar.
But he had nothing to drag him into the race either. No. So he's sitting here at the 800 about 10 lengths off the lead, travelling OK, well within himself, but there was no horse that took him into the race. So he did it all on his own. I mean, for me, that was probably, leaving Alligator Blood aside, that was just a phenomenal win, reminiscent of Super Imp.
Stakes, 1,400 metres. Ready to gallop. 2-year-olds are racing at the 1,400 metres. The catch was slow away. The Watchman goes back to second last with El Bakturi. Sarouge began really fast, straight to the lead from Larimer Street and Hollyfield. Cloudbreaker sits off those. A length and a half away, Luna Fox, and they were followed next by Ole Kirk. So it's Sarouge, the leader, blazing the trail at the 850 by 3/4 of a length. Larimer Street, a length and a quarter, Hollyfield with the Colt sit on them third. A length and a half, Cloudbreaker, followed by Luna Fox, and next Maccabee as they try and slacken at mid-race. Next Ole Kirk on the inside of Maccabee, followed by Queen of Rocks, well back in the field, approaching the turn, the catch, the Watchman and El Bakturi. So it's the Rouge at the point of the corner at the 500 metres, leading by a length to Larimer Street, and they were followed by Hollyfield, about 3 off the leader from Ole Kirk, Cloudbreaker, Luna Fox. Next in the field, Queen of Rocks, and then came Maccabee, and behind those horses then down the outside, El Bakturi's winding up at Sarouge at the 250 with Larimer Street, then Luna Fox on the outside who's joining in strongly, then Ole Kirk, Luna Fox up to Larimer Street at the 150, then Ole Kirk off their heels, Luna Fox taking Larimer Street, then Ole Kirk who's finishing hard, but Luna Fox punched out to win. Luna Fox from the Sire's Produce by a length to a photo, Larimer Street or Ole Kirk, then Sarouge, then a wall, Cloudbreaker, next Queen of Rocks, El Bakturi, followed by Maccabee, next Hollyfield, the catch and the Watchman.
Oh, what a great story. Doesn't Brett Preble absolutely love it? He wins a Group 2 with his old master in Terry O'Sullivan. They combined 17 years ago to win this race when it was a Group 1 on wine stock. They've turned back the clock big time here, and doesn't Brett Preble love it? He points towards the grand.
And even for his son, I noticed Thomas was out there strapping the horse for him, so really good moment for the both of them. Good draw.
Karina O'Sullivan, they combined to win this race 17 years ago with Winestock. Brett's son Thomas was strapping the horse yesterday.
Yeah, great moment for them, and this would be a race as well that Wayne Dunn would be happy to have another crack
Not
at.
watch the replay.
Yeah. Yes. He should have taken a run that was there. But it was a messy race, and I'm sure Grace will touch on some of the interference and repercussions out of that race, because there were some. In terms of the tempo, well, they were on raw time, sort of a length and then a length ahead of the standard early. But I think most of them got their opportunity based on...
opportunity to sort of get up inside. But the run was gone when he decided to go back.
Many times they go looking for better ground, and it costs them the race when the run is there. It's so frustrating when you're watching it.
The best ride won the race, not the best horse, I think. You know, he could have elected to follow Brett Preble, who made the decision at about the 600 to move sort of 3 and 4 off the fence, because he could sense the horses inside him weren't travelling as well.
Paraded first up from a spell, but she was just slightly anxious on that occasion. Today she's a lot more relaxed, and I think she's ready to fire here second up from a spell. Rubisaki, she's a much more sort of relaxed customer to the horse. I saw 2 starts back, so certainly no knock on her.
Well, we know that the manufacturing industry for cars isn't going great in Australia, so we might move on to Rubisaki, which is top of the market at $3.10, rock solid there as favourite for this race. Then $5.50 for Pretty Brazen, How Romantic $6.50, Tenley just a little bit more.
A line of 4 after 200 metres here. Sassy Salatage will lead Mrs. Beckham. How Romantic score, then Pretty Brazen, who's out deeper on the track. Further back is Rich Hips, and then came Chassis, Tenley, La Ten wider. South Bank the inside from Ruby Saki, Salika Fascino, and La Falaise is at the tail of the field. 800 metres to go. The leader, Sassy Salatage, by about a half length. Mrs. Beckham. How Romantic third, 3 deep. Scorers fourth the inside, followed by Rich Hips, and then Pretty Brazen 3 wide, 6th. A length and a half away, 10 Lee, covered up by La Ten, then Chassis Fascino. Well back in the field around the corner is Ruby Saki, would spot the speed about 7 or 8, and then South Bank, Salika and La Falaise into the straight at the 450. Sassy Salatage and Mrs. Beckham the outside. How Romantic deeper, Pretty Brazen trucks up, score back to the inner, followed by La Ten. Ruby Saki about to explode down the outer as they reach the 200, taking the lead Pretty Brazen, but here's Ruby Saki the outer, Pretty Brazen at the 100, Ruby Saki's got her, Ruby Saki takes Pretty Brazen, Ruby Saki, win number 6, start number 8, good filly, Ruby Saki won it, Pretty Brazen second, Fascino late for third, Photo fourth, we've got 10 Leo score, followed then by Salika, Mrs. Beckham and La Ten, a gap How Romantic, La Falaise and Rich Hips, Chassis South Bank, and Sassy Salatage was at the end of the field.
She is just simply a winning machine. Rubisaki's her name, a filly by Rubik for Paddy Payne and Billy Egan. They get a huge thrill because they win a Group 2 with her. She becomes a valuable...
Saturday, Rubisaki is now 6 wins, 2 seconds from 8 starts, takes out the Cooney. The 11th running of this race at 1,400 metres. In the last 10 years, the best winner of this race has probably been I'm a Star. There's everything to say that this filly is going to have that sort of career and more.
Couldn't agree more. And this is probably a bit of evidence stating turn of foot. That was a great turn of foot. Second best final 200, best final 400.
6, I think.
Yeah, so...
And what also happened here, Hutch, is that the leader here, Sassy Salatage, Mrs. Beckham on her outside, through the middle stages, really slackened the tempo. And what that meant is that while Rubisaki was a long way off, she just allowed to get in 3 back in a position where she's within striking distance at the top of the straight. So from that perspective, it worked out in her favour.
Let's hear the closing stages of the Cooney.
Deeper, Pretty Brazen trucks up, score back to the inner, followed by La Ten. Ruby Saki about to explode down the outer as they reach the 200, taking the lead Pretty Brazen, but here's Ruby Saki the outer, Pretty Brazen at the 100, Ruby Saki's got her, Ruby Saki takes Pretty Brazen, Ruby Saki, win number 6, start number 8, good filly, Ruby Saki won it, Pretty Brazen second, Fascino late for third.
25 grand short of $1 million in prize money now.
Extremely well placed, this filly. I mean, she was the best horse going into the race. As you touched on, her record was, if she's running the Quinella, all the career starts thus far. You know, Billy Egan's just got a great affiliation with this filly, and you know, I love the way he rolled.
And Bivouac's trying to go past Exceedance, gets a firmer track than what he saw down the straight in the Coolmore Classic. Exceedance, the son of Exceedant Excel, who won this race, has a touch of class. Can he complete?
Let's have a look at the market with Bet365 the new market. Big build-up to this feature race here today, and what a cracking edition. We've got Exceedance, $3.30. The money's coming quick for him. $4.20 for Loving Gabby, $6.50 Bivouac. who's pretty steady around that 650 mark, but all of these have eased a fraction. Guitra to 10 along with the inevitable $12 for Zutori and Libertini. Exceedance.
4 more stud stakes. The 3-year-old, can he complete a huge double? Well, Dwayne Dunn's had a terrific day with Team Hawks. Exceedance.
And can really add to that as well with the Group 1 success here of a very, very talented colt. Terrific winning the Cornwall. He's got outstanding form really from over the spring. And of course,
and today she's much more composed in the mounting yard, so this really looks like it might have been a target. You can see here she's just getting a fraction up on the toes, but it's nothing compared to what we saw first up. She's really come on.
Another in the last decade, Bivouac, another colt by Exceed Excel for James Cummings, trying to chase his famous grandfather's record of an amazing 8 wins in the Newmarket. Bivouac.
Bivouac, well, there was such a tremendous race between, of course, him and the favourite Exceedance when they clashed in the Cornwall. He was very brave. He was up there throughout.
He's ready to get the job done and came here today knowing that he had the best straight track, soft track figures in the race. Just wanted to see a horse that caught my eye in the yard, and that's exactly what he did. He goes on top.
Exceedance, Loving Gabby, $4.20. They continue to be the 2 horses that the punters are looking at. Bivouac is the forgotten 3-year-old. It's at $6 now. The others, Guitra, on course, you can get $11 with us. You're $9.50 to probably get the double.
Beat that same horse in a very high rating Coolmore here. It's probably advantage Bivouac on the speed map perspective. He'll be up on the speed. I just thought he got run off his legs a bit, 1,100 metre fast.
The Inevitable is in, set for the Newmarket. Ready to go. Mills are back and they're racing. Dispatch away only fairly. Bivouac out fast with also Banquo over towards the far side, showing some speed. Out deeper on the track now is Tefane, and Dispatch is booting through. They didn't go lickety-split the first 200 metres. So the leader Banquo from Guitra underneath of it. Loving Gabby, Bivouac behind those from Dispatch, Trope. Then Tefane, Zutori, Libertini out deeper. Exceedance second last. The Inevitable is last. So the front runner is Banquo at the 800 metres. By a length as they're sliding out even wider on the track now. From Bivouac second, Guitra box seating third. Dispatch out deeper, followed by Loving Gabby. Then came Zutori, Trope, Tefane, Libertini is the widest, tracked by the Inevitable, and Exceedance darting back between horses. The leader is Banquo in the Newmarket at the 400 metres. Tried to kick away about a length and a half. Loving Gabby out, followed by Guitra, Bivouac, and then came Zutori running on. It's Banquo at the 200 metres in front of Loving Gabby, and Bivouac on the outside, chiming in strongly, then Guitra. Bivouac takes the lead from Loving Gabby at the 100. Bivouac coming away for Bossy. Bivouac on the Newmarket easily. Loving Gabby second, Photo third, Guitra or Zutori, followed by Banquo, Tefane, Exceedance, the Inevitable, Gap, Dispatch, Trope and Libertini.
Bivouac wins for James Cummings. What a 3-year-old colt he is. He thrashes them and defeats a gun 3-year-old filly in Loving Gabby. Guitra, well, he was honest and brave. The 57 kilos was a steadier. Ditto for Zutori, who runs a terrific race with 55. They're a good group of 3-year-olds. You can certainly lock that in, and Bossy loves coming back to Flemington.
Yeah, it's amazing when you get on these colts, and Chrissy, I can't explain. Just going to the barriers, I knew I was a winner. You can just tell when they're on, you know, colts. And he went down to the barriers like he really meant business. Every stride he took to the barriers, it felt like he had game face on. So I grew in confidence just going to the barriers. It's incredible. And like, he just never put a foot wrong, and he broke beautifully. He got into a lovely trail, and that was ridiculous to how easily he won. But that was just a fact that the way he set himself up, he just gave me a lovely ride. And yeah, it's very rare that, you know, against that quality opposition, that you would think that you could walk away and have a victory that easily. So I tell you that
he's a Group 1 winner already, but to win a Newmarket, it's one of the elite races on the Australian calendar, and to do it in the dominant fashion he has, it's pretty spectacular.
Yeah, not just to win, but to defeat an elite.
Bivouac was superb, and it was basically these first couple of steps. Bivouac jumped beautifully, Corey, and Glenn Boss put him into a prime position.
Obviously, Glenn, he's a big race rider. His CV stands out like they all do, but just the first couple of 100 metres of the race, you could see Glennie was eyeing off all the other runners. He was obviously looking for Loving Gabby backing behind them to see which side they were going to go. But again, I just couldn't believe
sprint, wasn't it?
And it's amazing. Clint and I discussed it on the day, how often, I know he didn't lead, but how the back markers, they're not putting themselves into the race early enough, or they're just letting the leaders get away with murder down the straight.
Plenty to analyse out of this. Let's take a look at the closing stages of the Newmarket Handicap, won by Bivouac.
Tracked by the Inevitable and Exceedance, darting back between horses. The leader is Banquo in the Newmarket at the 400 metres. Tried to kick away about a length and a half. Loving Gabby out, followed by Guitra, Bivouac, and then came Zutori running on. It's Banquo at the 200 metres in front of Loving Gabby, and Bivouac on the outside, chiming in strongly, then Guitra. Bivouac takes the lead from Loving Gabby at the 100. Bivouac coming away for Bossy. Bivouac's won the Newmarket easily. Loving Gabby second, Photo third. Guitra.
Clint, 31st colt or gelding to win the race as a 3-year-old. Time 109.21, unfolded in a manner you would have perhaps expected.
Yeah, oh, look, it was a ranked number 1 performance of the day according to the daily sectionals, and it's not a surprise. I mean, but he was very, very good, wasn't he? It was an emphatic victory. I mean, he beat some handy sprinters convincingly. I don't think there was a better spot on the track. We saw that later in the day. I think they all got their chance and just travelled well for Bossy. He was easy on Bivouac on the clock, like I said. I mean, a lot of the times were sort of outside standard, so, but this was still ranked the best performance of the day.
They certainly did ramp it up. The leader was Bank.
I actually think it was pretty even across.
Yeah, she ran really well, Loving Gabby. Kieran Maher and Dave Eustace, the connections were really happy with her performance. She was just simply beaten by a horse that was just unbeatable yesterday. I mean, that was...
Loving Gabby goes better around a bend.
I agree. I think
she needs a bend to
What
go
did we
around
make of
it.
Exceedance? I mean, he was the one that was supported all week, started a $3.30 favourite.
I don't think he ever looked a winner at any stage.
No.
Like, he never travelled up. Like, he was... He just... I don't know.
Damien Lane, Zutori.
He's run super again. Just got left flat-footed when the first 3 went for home, and Banquo run down in front of me, probably cost me running third, but he runs super again.
Ben Mellon, G-Tra.
Really gallant run with the weight. Just if he ran into a couple of quality three-year-olds and just had to give him too much weight, but bloody good effort.
Dwayne Dunn, Exceedance.
Yeah, I just was in an awkward spot for the first half of the race. I went back left, get a little bit better going, and you know, it was a good effort. If it had worked out better for him, he would have finished better.
Brett Preble, The Inevitable.
He jumped nice, got a bum, and I thought, good. You know, I was happy. I was ready for his turn of football come underneath me at 600, and I felt that he wasn't doing that, and then he really laboured and done. We'll see how he pulls up.
Craig Williams, Loving Gabby.
She was awesome in defeat. Low draw, I think, was a disadvantage compared to the winner. The winner was too good for us today in the end, but he still had a few more. But in the end, he was too good down the...
Very cool.
So the form from the lead-ins has stood up. The Lightning, as we said, Guitra going there yesterday, then running third. Zutori was a slashing second in the Oakley Plate, obviously ahead of Bivouac, but perhaps with conditions to suit, they run into the top 4 as well. It feels like there's a little bit of a changing of the guard. You don't want to call it too early, but we've still got the TJ Smith maybe to answer the question of who is Australia's best sprinter right now.
It's an interesting one. I mean, we've got as usual, we've got a few. We had one north of the border go.
The Newmarket is now outright favourite for the TJ Smith. Bivouac gives Glenn Boss Group 1 win in his career, 84.
Turned into a Newmarket that wasn't a fast race. He changed, well, he lost the speed of the Oakley Plate, so that was the excuse there, but he rode the speed here and off he goes. What a moment for the Godolphin colt here. He's stamped himself, you know, a real prospected stud now. How good's that Golden Rose been, where, you know, had Exceedance, yes, and this bloke, and they've all come out to win Group 1s out of that Golden Rose early in the season. So, yeah, 3 terrific colts. He you know, advantaged Bivouac yesterday, there's no doubt about it. She's a ripper, Loving Gabby. Not her style of race. She certainly was a great run there. And G-Trash is really underrated horse. He's done a terrific job. She pulled up... G-Trash is really underrated horse. He's done a terrific job. She pulled up Saw Libertini, and you'd have to be forgiving for Exceedance. He was on the inside there, and like I say, stop-start race, not his style. He needs a fast race where he can finish off.
Just take a moment for...
Go away from Avilius, Richo. He presented in tip-top order in the Aust Stakes. First up this preparation. He's just that little bit fitter, which is what you want to see over 2,000 metres. So he's...
second best back runner to beat the favourite here. Avilius is the favourite, and it's shortened up again since last time he looked, so into $3.30. But clearly Regal Power is the second best back runner around that $6 mark. Kingswell Dream is still there at $7.50 and 50 stars. Rock Solid 50 stars, $7. Good sign, I think, if you're a 50 stars fan, that while the others have been moving up and down, that's just been holding its price. Of the others, as you can see, $15 the rest of the field. Not a lot happening. There's not a lot expected.
The Tab Australian Cup, Mr. Gately, you like Regal Power?
Yeah, I do. It's obviously a terrific rendition of the race, and really looking forward to it. Regal Power was outstanding. I thought first up, back and wide against the pattern of the day, and the slow tempo.
It's the outside alley, set for the Tab Australian Cup. Ready, they're racing at the 2,000 metres, a beautiful line as well. Avilius is going to drift back to about third last. Venice Beach jumped quickly with Miss Siska, Mirage Dancer, Kingswell Dream and Harlem about 5 across the track early. Hush Rider out deep is also pushing up. Vow and Declare is nice and close. Will settle just ahead of midfield from Cape of Good Hope and Regal Power. Then came Constantinople, Southern France, Suzuka, Devious, Avilius and 50 stars. They make their way towards the 1,400 metres and working off the rails. Miss Siska looks to lead here. 100 metres as they slow it down. Constantinople, the inner of 50 stars from Southern France. Well back Avilius, Suzuka, Devious last. Miss Siska in front of Hush Rider as they reach the 1,000 marker. By a length and a half to Venice Beach, the outside of Harlem, getting a lovely trail in the box seat. A length and a quarter Mirage Dancer, and then came Kingswell Dream, Vow and Declare. Along the inside, Cape of Good Hope. Regal Power pulls 3 and 4 deep to improve from Constantinople. 50 stars, well back Southern France. Avilius second last. Suzuka Devious last up towards the turn. Hush Rider is pressing Miss Siska here at the 550. Harlem getting off the fence behind those horses, just needs a bit of racing room from Venice Beach, Mirage Dancer. Vow and Declare to the middle. Regal Power trucking up too, and Kingswell Dream back to the inside. It's Hush Rider, Miss Siska together. Harlem running on. Kingswell Dream back to the inside. Regal Power looks a threat out wide at the 200 metres. Miss Siska joined by Regal Power, followed by Harlem, and 50 stars runs on. Regal Power at the 100. 50 stars is blasting home. Regal Power from 50 stars, then Vow and Declare. 50 stars over the top. 50 stars from the Australian Cup. Regal Power second, Vow and Declare third, Harlem 4, followed by Avilius, Mirage Dancer, then Southern France, Suzuka Devious, Kingswell Dream, getting tired Miss Siska, then Hush Rider, Cape of Good Hope, Venice Beach and Constantinople amongst the tail enders.
You just cannot deny them on this day. Lindsay Park win their 10th Australian Cup. David Hayes leaves the autumn. He'll head off to Hong Kong towards the end of the year, and he'll do it in style because 50 stars has cemented a spot on the stallion roster of Australia, because that is a big win for the entire. He defeats the Western Australian star Regal Power. He defeats Victory. A 10th win, David Hayes. Congratulations to you and everyone involved. Well, you're leaving Australia and you're leaving it in good hands, mate. Well done.
No, it was a real thrill. One to win for Jerry Ryan, and the whole team at Lindsay Park are here today. So to win the 10th is just a fantastic effort by everyone for a lot of years, for over 50 years. So just thrilled.
Yeah, and to back for Lindsay Park and the Hayes family, adding a third in the row with 50 stars. Of course, Harlem had won the race the last 2 years. 50 stars becomes the first horse since Sturbridge 25 years ago to back up from the Blamey and take out the feature at weight for age over 2,000 metres. Guys, as we look back at the race yesterday, Hutch, we'll start with you in terms of how things shaped from a pace point of view.
Yeah, well, the pace was reasonably good throughout. I mean, as we can see, I mean, 50 stars well, in the first section.
Mate, he had the perfect run. He was following Regal Power. Regal Power probably was exposed a little bit too early. I think William Pike would have liked to have been on Western Australian time instead of the East Coast sort of time. He got there way too early.
But he was just travelling so well, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
I mean, he had to get going 3 and 4 wide, otherwise he runs the risk of something coming around and getting boxed in. So I think he's made the right decision here. I mean, but it's just a case of when he pressed the button.
I think Vow and Declare flushed him out a little bit too soon. If he had been able to come back and follow Vow and Declare, but he's already sort of made his move. He's on the way. He's travelling extremely well.
But he's the best. Coming to the 200, he's $1.20 chance in the run.
Without a doubt.
He just didn't finish the race off
He would
that
have liked to. I mean, he said he couldn't come back. I wonder if that's the case with him. But let's get the call.
Kingswell Dream back to the inside. Regal Power looks a threat out wide at the 200 metres. Miss Siska joined by Regal Power, followed by Harlem, and 50 Stars runs on. Regal Power at the 100. 50 Stars is blasting home. Regal Power from 50 Stars, then bound to Clare. 50 Stars over the top. 50 Stars won the Australian Cup.
I mean,
Regal Power second, bound to Clare.
I'm going to take your point on board. It may well have been the case, but he was gutted after the race, William Pike, and I can understand why. He just would have liked to have just kept on the back of, or somehow got onto the back of Bowden de Clare a little bit longer, because he was a sitting shot there. And,
that's right. And like everyone knows, the Flemington Straight, and he was there to be beaten. You know,
I just wonder whether Regal Powers had a relatively soft run in the Peter Young. That was a slowly run race, just to sprint home with a bunch field at the finish, whereas 50 Stars has run in a high-pressure Blamey last Saturday.
On the back up.
And that was the highest rating race of the day. Yep. So 50 Stars has come in absolutely rock-hard fit and reproduced that run yesterday, whereas Regal Power might have just had a softer run than they expected in the Peter Young first up in Melbourne, and maybe that was costly in the finish.
I'll just relay a little message, or just something that happened that I thought was interesting. Yesterday, speaking to William Pike and also Grant Williams after the race, we've mentioned William Pike was absolutely devastated, because he honestly thought that because he was flushed early, had to work early, he had lost the race, and he eventually said to Grant Williams, "Oh, I'm so sorry about that," and Grant just said, "Don't be sorry, we're in this together," which just goes to show that while some jockeys and some trainers might disagree, and you might, put another jockey on because a trainer might think that something's gone wrong, that this team from Perth, Bob Peters, they're formidable, and they're very, very strong. So it's good to see. He got going from about the 800 metres. He had to work to get into the race, but he just kept steaming home. It must have felt unbelievable for John Allen to be on top of that horse, because in the end he's run the 4th fastest last 200 metres split of the entire race meeting. It was the only horse to break 12 seconds in that race. So a massive run from 50 Stars to win.
And Danny O'Brien would be delighted with the return of Bowden de Clare. First up from the Melbourne Cup. I mean,
ran a lot better than he's just out-sprinted, wasn't he? He ran a lot better than I thought he would. I thought he'd be sort of staying on late, but...
He's been consistent through betting. Disappointing run back on the inside after drawing one for Joe McNeil. But, guys, let's talk Avilius. Back-to-back years, short price favourite, rolled in the Australian Cup.
Not ideal. I was expecting more. I wanted him to seem close up. Now, I'm not sure by that stage of the day, Corey, whether the inside was possibly chopped away a little bit more. I think it probably, that was a fact. He was back. I mean, Dwayne blaming the sort of tempo of the race, but the reality was that 50 Stars was pretty much they were alongside each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Does he need one genuinely soft and maybe prefers the Sydney way of going? I mean, last year I remember Corey gave Avilius an absolute peach of a run, and he peeled off at about the 200 and was labouring late, and then went back to Sydney and just reeled off Group 1 after Group 1.
Don't keep making excuses for any horse. I mean, when you've got to constantly do it, and he's very talented. I just think I'd bet him probably in Sydney on a much wetter track.
What's your view coming?
The Todman Stakes is the first of our 2 features today, and the winner guaranteed a run in the Golden Slipper. Of course, Tagaloa and Farnan are already fully qualified. Tagaloa with prize money, Farnan, of course, winning the silver. Runs favourite, Tagaloa.
Gates are back, they're racing, and Farnan left really well off the inside. Tagaloa, Global Quest and Blazer Trail all smartly up, but Farnan leads from Blazer Trail. Global Quest just drops back. Tagaloa drops back and getting underneath it quickly as Blondeau, and on the lead settles back at the tail of the field. Farnan in front by a half length to Blazer Trail. 2 for the back to Global Quest, 1 off the fence around Blondeau. Then came Tagaloa ridden with cover back second last, and on the lead goes up the inside. So it's Farnan at a good speed by a half length on Blazer Trail. Length and a half off to Global Quest on the outside of Blondeau. Then came Tagaloa. Michael Walker starting to feel for Tagaloa now as they come up to the home turn. On the lead, still being quietly ridden. They turn the corner. It's Farnan and on the lead, and on the outside Blazer Trail. Farnan the inside of Blazer Trail. 2 off to Global Quest. Tagaloa responding to pressure, but he's still 4 off the lead. Farnan, who's got a good kick there. It dropped Blazer Trail. Tagaloa goes to second. Blondeau goes to third, but Farnan going great guns here in the top, man. Really comes away. That's been a big win. Tagaloa has clearly finished best of the rest in second. Blondeau third in front of Global Quest, and a gap back to on the lead and Blazer Trail.
First two off to the Golden Slipper. Farnan will improve his position now in the market. Tagaloa surely loses no admirers. Blondo runs third. They've run 1:9.86. It'll be Farnan, Tagaloa, Blondo 2:16.
Yeah, she has to tick herself off at 1,200. Her wins are at 900 and 1,000 metres.
Yeah, first time having a look at her, so I'm only looking at... And of course, he has See You Soon in this event and does look in great order. But I'm going with Dame Giselle on top, just purely because she's made nice improvement from that first up.
And the racing, See You Soon immediately gets back after the start, and Mildred jumped well together with Sunborn. Dame Giselle, Joviality going forward, and Supreme Idea is going to use the low draw. No established leader as yet. Mildred's caught deep. Supreme Idea is rolling forward on the inside. Joviality got close to heels. Rawilla had to snatch up. Dame Giselle's caught deep. Then came Sentimental, Ticket to Ride for Error. See You Soon will ride for luck up the fence, and Sunborn's last of a very tightly bunched field. It's Supreme Idea a neck in front to Mildred. Dame Giselle planted 3 wide. Sunborn 4 wide going forward. Then Sentimental locked up on the fence on the inside of Joviality. Then came Fiera, See You Soon. Ticket to Ride last. There's only 2.5 lengths covering them as they come around the corner. And Supreme Idea shows the way by a length on Mildred. Dame Giselle wide out as Sunborn. See You Soon's getting a rails run closing off. Then Sentimental and further back to Joviality. Dame Giselle at the furlong went up to join Mildred. Clear from See You Soon. It's Dame Giselle, Mildred, See You Soon the inside. Dame Giselle, See You Soon's running the inside. See You Soon goes to Dame Giselle. Dame kicked. I think Dame's just won it. Dame Giselle from See You Soon and Mildred third. Not sure about fourth. There's many of them in it. Sentimental from Sunborn, Fiera and Ticket to Ride. Further back then to Supreme Idea and Joviality, and a great finish to the Riesling Stakes.
Dame Giselle and See You Soon hitting the line lock. Who's got the bob down?
Oh, maybe the outside.
That says outside Dame Giselle. Are we going to get a photo or a shutter cam first? Shutter cam says it might be Dame Giselle.
Yeah, it was just a bob, and it may be the bob on the outside, but yep,
it is.
Yep, she's got there. So both really nice slipper trials. They've run very right up early there. So let's see. We'll read the sectionals and see how it unfolds.
What a rivalry they've got. They've run first and second on 3 occasions. See You Soon beat Dame Giselle, then Dame Giselle beat See You Soon, and she's taken it to 2-1 in the clash of their own. Here's Bernie with... Concerned is Farnan enhancing his prospects. He's into outright favouritism now for the Golden Slipper. And, of course, Dame Giselle, she firmed in the market as well, understandably. But what we didn't see was any change in the order of entry, because both Farnan and Dame Giselle and Tagaloa and See You Soon already into the slipper, so there were no changes. No one got into the slipper with these win and you're in races. But first of all, let's have a look at Farnan, the new and firm Golden Slipper favourite.
There's no doubt about it. He's got racing style, he's got substance, he's running time. You know, he runs similar time to a very good mare for Seeker in the first, so that's usually a good sign with your 2-year-olds. Don't give up on that second horse. Considering the pattern of the day, later on, and when you analyse things, his sectional times were great. They got a set of blinkers up the sleeve. It was like the run he had to have leading into a slipper. So I'm still heavily in his corner to say that he's a chance of turning the tables on Farnham. Well, the rest, his quest is over, Global Quest. After that, that was D-Day for him. And I'm amazed with this Blazer Trail. He's a better horse than that. He wants gelding and a dry track. I just think it's all been...
Just the chance to worry about getting them fit and right for the Golden Slipper, because the prize money assured them a run. Dame Giselle and See You Soon. Duff and Lizzie, they are heading in the right direction, and for them, it has all been about timing.
It is, and we know the Snowdens are masters at it, and this filly has been perfectly prepped up after, like I said, having had the luxury of that early qualification in the Golden Gift. 2 weeks out, second up winning, so third up off a winning to the Golden Slipper. Yeah, she was great. See You Soon. Nice return from her. You'd suggest she's got improvement at all. She's a real trier, isn't she, little Mildred? She did a good job. They dominated the rest. Fiera had supported odds and run well. Yeah, she's like but $11 for the slipper. You know, she's not qualified yet. She'll probably... All depends on what happens today.
Yeah. Thrill Seekers, Duff. Farnan 450. Slipper favourite, Hanseatic $7 and Tagaloa $8. That's a wrap-up of the
80 out to 550. The Bostonian, fairly steady. 850 got into as short as 7, goes back to 750. Then a big jump to the others. We've got Be Good to Your Mother, who's been 15 to 21, and the other two runners here, Mistonian. But Savatiano will run clear favourite here for the Group 1 Canterbury Stakes.
Okay, the
numbers, I've gone the Bostonian as a definite threat. He does excel when he's on a softish ground, and when he's nice and fresh, he's won 4 out of 5 first up. There is backing for him. Marto can inform us.
Moves forward, Tommy Berry aboard, the grey White Moss coming up now, and the gates are back. They're off and racing, and White Moss left the gates quite nicely. Pushing forward is Savatiano, and the Bostonians right there. Be Good to Your Mother in 4th early. There's a good three-way tussle up front. Made that 4 because Be Good to Your Mother hasn't given up a shot for the lead. They've gapped the rest early. Stand Out Elise and Mr. Seawolf. Well, Be Good to Your Mother. Hasn't this done some work? Moving up to join Savatiano. White Moss took a hold. So did the Bostonian at the 800 metres. Elise and the small field is planted 3 wide on the outside of the Colt Stand Out. And Mr. Seawolf on the fence. 600 metres to run. Savatiano with the advantage of the rails. Ahead in front to Be Good to Your Mother. White Moss peeling 3 wide. Then the Bostonian. Elise next from Stand Out. Somewhat cluttered up, and last of all is Mr. Seawolf. They fan coming for home. It's the favourite Savatiano, 2 lengths clear. The Bostonian needs to come off the fence. Then came Stand Out and White Moss. Savatiano leads. The Bostonian being tugged away from the rails to give chase now. Savatiano a half in front. The Bostonian looms large to the outside. The Bostonian, Rowella goes for home. It beats off Savatiano, and there's 3 Group 1s for the Bostonian. Won it by a length to Savatiano. Mr. Seawolf 3rd, White Moss 4th. Good gap back to Elise. Stand Out. Didn't get through the soft conditions today, and Be Good to Your Mother understandably weakened to finish near last. Well, it is a Kiwi domination at this famous racecourse, Royal Randwick. That's 3 Group 1s in a row for the Kiwis. Probabile, Tiakau Shark, and now the Bostonian, who wins his 3rd Group 1 of the career. The Bostonian, 780.
More success being ridden on speed, but she's very aggressive.
I just thought the way that he rode her last start with White Moss leading and him sitting behind and stalking that pace, that's exactly how Bostonian got that run yesterday. I just feel if she had had that run, she's so explosive, she needs that bunny to chase and maybe 100%. A bum to switch her off.
She needs a fast bunny, not a slow bunny.
Yes.
Yes, so she needs to just get into a fast rhythm and stalk and sprint, because she can sprint off a good speed.
What do you think of Be Good to?
100%. Look, they were just awful. Stand Out and Elise, we couldn't find too much problems with him. He maybe punctured on the wet track there, Stand Out, but he's a better colt than that, surely. That was just too bad to be true. The vets couldn't find anything.
They couldn't find anything, just from the steward's report, veterinary examination.
One first up run for this horse.
Just thought it was perfect. I think 1200's just on the sharper side for him. 1300 was probably ideal fresh up, and but the track conditions today just are ideal for him. It was just a touch firm for him in Melbourne. I thought he could win the Manikato, but he just didn't let go on a really firm track that night. So, if we can get conditions like this throughout the carnival here, he's going to be competitive in whatever he runs in.
I sort of used him a little bit.
Peter and Paul Snowden.
Well, he's a brave sprinting champion. As you said, $16.2 million in the bank. Very good in the Black Caviar, sets up well here, and certainly will run the race of his life. Like you said, 6 from 6 here. Pressure plays into his hands, but just a matter of how much start he's going to give him. He's only had 1 try at 1,000 metres, and he got beat, but look, there's good wraps on him.
Okay, that's the feel for the challenge. Chris Waller, Nature Strip. Can he bounce back today?
We hope so, and he's done it in the past. So, yeah, it's a very interesting race with a lot of speed. There could be any one of 5 or 6 leaders, and
what he's done since this morning is get out in the market. He opened an evens chance this morning at $2. He's out to $3.10. He's the 4th most popular runner today in this field of 8. On the NOP, he's $2.50 out to $3.10. 2 out to $3.10 today at Tab. Deprive, on the other hand, has been 480 into 390 today, 420 into 380 on the NOP. Red.
Now they're off and racing. Nature Strip jumped out okay. Ball of Muscle, Jungle Edge, and I Am Immortal going fast, and Red Zell's right there. Nature Strip's poking through on the rail, so it's Ball of Muscle, just the leader in the early stages from Jungle Edge, and Nature Strip makes a line of 3. Red Zell back to 4th. I Am Immortal's firing up on the outside of Miss Leonidas, and a gap of 4-5 lengths back to Santa Elanine and Deprive. Coming to the turn, and Nature Strip takes the lead. Boy had to work to wrestle there. Red Zell being pushed along, so Jungle Edge, Miss Leonidas. Further back then to a Ball of Muscle, and a good gap back to Deprive and Santa Elanine at the 300 metres. Nature Strip 2 lengths clear from Jungle Edge, Miss Leonidas. Red Zell battling, so's Ball of Muscle. But Nature Strip going great guns in the Challenge Stakes. He gets further in front now, and Nature Strip completely dominates the Challenge Stakes. Red Zell second again, Jungle Edge third, then Miss Leonidas, followed by Deprive, Santa Elanine, a gap back to Ball of Muscle, and I Am Immortal, the colt, finished back last.
Nature Strip's back today. He has won the Group 2 Challenge Stakes. 290 and 130 from a pretty brave Red Zell today. 150. And just flying, what section did they run 10 seconds? The 800 to the 600, they ran 10 flat. Nature Strip was flying today. They've run...
What is it that he does? It's a little peanut between his ears. Some days it works, some days it doesn't. But no, we were very confident leading to the Lightning, and we thought he'd display a performance like he did today. Things went wrong, and obviously Chris brought him back to Sydney, got him right as he always does, and. He's right. He must give you a fantastic feel. It's not a feel like it on a racehorse. It's pretty incredible. He just does his thing.
I don't know. I think we took it a bit cheap last start, and I'm not saying we just went there thinking we were going to win, but we didn't really have a tactic of harnessing how much speed he actually does have, and unfortunately that speed gets him into a bit of trouble, because when you're burning that much gas, the gas runs out. So yeah, today he was a little bit more relaxed and
Duff. Geez, he's poetry in motion when he's on song, isn't he? He's just... I've never seen a horse run 10 flat in a sprint race on a soft track early in the race and then race away to victory like this. He's just unique. He's Jekyll and Hyde, but he is absolutely brilliant performance for... I know it's 1,000 metres and that's what it is. It's 1,000-metre form, but he destroyed a really good field here. Red Zell, there's life left in the old boy yet. There's no doubt about that. And look, these Jungle Edge, how good... he's a warrior in his own right. These two back markers that they'd backed, Deprive and obviously Santa Ana Lane. Look, they're not 1,000-metre horses. They were always going to lose contact with that field and do exactly what they did there. They've run well, considering the time that they've run and analysing everything. They were just impossible to come from the back in that race.
They were. I've got a bit of a theory.
A race, he can conserve, like we saw that in the sprint the day he blew him away at Flemington. When there's no speed, he'd come back underneath McDonald down the straight there. And if he gets into a TJ, well, nothing. He's got that aura about him now. Well, no way. I'm not going to go up and you go and eyeball Nature Strip. No, you go and eyeball.
Well, they can't. I think they tried to yesterday, but they couldn't go on with it.
They might bring him undone at 1,200, but they'll bring themselves undone as well. So don't worry.
Well, that's what the jockeys had to say after.
Rolled on top of a feature race.
It is going to be a dream race, the TJ Smith, if they all get there on day one of the championships, which comes up on April 4 here. Dream race, the TJ Smith, if they all get there. And this is a Group 1.
Sprinted there, wasn't he, first up?
Warning on top. There's two horses that have made a massive improvement out of the Hobartville. One is Warning and the other is Shadow Hero. So do what you want with those two horses, but they're the biggest improvers.
The back now, they're off and racing. The Holy One was squeezed out at the start. It'll settle at the rear of the field. Prince Fawaz was first out from Conqueror, and Warning's very handy along the rails, pushing through. Both Microphone and Reloaded are going forward from their wide draws, and Microphone's going to take the lead from Reloaded and Conqueror third, then Warning. Brandenburg pushes forward, going to fifth, then Prince Fawaz from Shadow. Reloaded's going to take it up, and Reloaded leads here at the 1,000 metres from Microphone, parked up on the outside. Conqueror lands a great spot third, leaders back a half the outside to Brandenburg, two further back to Warning on the inside of Prince Fawaz. They're followed then by Shadow Hero on the inside of Fortress Command. From the Holy One, Sir Mays, Castelvecchio pulling three wide. McAvoy starting a run down Castelvecchio, and he's quickly surging around the field, and Pancho is the last one, 500 metres to run. It's Reloaded in front by 3/4 to Microphone. Then came Conqueror, Brandenburg pulling out further back to Prince Fawaz. Castelvecchio's the widest runner. It's Reloaded at the 300, two in front to Microphone, Brandenburg, Prince Fawaz running on. Castelvecchio's gone one pace. Reloaded joined by Microphone, Brandenburg, and Shadow Hero's getting a late split. Here comes the Hero. Shadow Hero stormed to the front late, and Shadow Hero won the Guineas from Microphone or Brandenburg. Then Reloaded from Warning. The Holy One late on the scene. Further back to Fortress Command. Castelvecchio had too much to do. From Pancho, Conqueror, Prince Fawaz and Sir Mays.
Two starts at Randwick, two Group 1s for Shadow Hero. He completes the Champions Stakes and Randwick Guineas double. Shadow Hero, he wins at a mile, 6:10 and 2/3.
I mean, I don't think Mark could believe his clock, and I couldn't believe the work. It was outstanding.
Well, he said pre-race, I don't think he's going.
Two starts at Randwick and has won two Group 1s. It was the fourth for Mark Newnham. All his Group 1s have come at Randwick.
Like I said, it was just a great ride. There was a pattern in place. It was an advantage to be up on the inside there yesterday. There's no doubt about that, although there's a couple of results that you could argue the point to say wasn't that bad. But he read the play beautifully, Josh. This horse is dead set on target for everything, isn't he? The next couple, at least, the Rosehill Guineas and the Derby. That's the great trial from him. Well, it was nearly a huge day for these Godolphin colts, wasn't it? You know, they're two big spruik stallions, and Microphone nearly got the job done there yesterday. He was given every opportunity again. He's raced well. Brandenburg proved the Hobartville was no fluke with another terrific performance from him. Reloaded's battled on okay. I thought Warning was very nice through the line. It wasn't a fast race. He's a real stayer. And what do you make of Castelvecchio?
I thought it was a good run, but invariably his racing pattern is always going to be against him. And I think that's why Josh being back on target. And the horse that I thought ran really well was the Holy One.
Yes. If he decides to ever put his right foot forward and come out of the barriers, you know, he could be a sneaky little Derby chance. Look,
He's definitely still yet to peak, but so is Shadow Hero as well. But I really liked Warning yesterday from the improvement. I said in the paddock, I said the two horses that have improved the most are Shadow Hero and Warning, and I felt like Warning, as you said, he just didn't get the race run to suit him, and that's where Shadow Hero's got so much speed to be able to sort of position closer and a great turn of foot, and yeah, he was too strong in the end. But there's still a number, it's whoever you really like, because they're all on the right path, the ones that we've just mentioned.
The Australian Derby market has two equal favourites now, Shadow Hero and Warning, $6 in front of Castelvecchio. Then the Kiwi Sherwood Forest and Brandenburg and Chenier. Chenier unlikely to head towards the Derby, but everything's open with that horse at the moment.